water bottles here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. I'm requesting everyone to be kindly be seated. कृपया अपने सीट पर बैठ जाइए. We are starting the next session, very important one. Kindly be seated.
But yeah, I'll give it a couple of minutes. People come back in and then get another started.
Sound check. इसका आवाज वॉल्यूम.
Yeah, mic works. That works.
आगे बैठ जाइए.
सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन
capital with assets under management worth 2,300 crores in 2022. He is the younger son of visionary philanthropist Sri T.V. Mohandas Pai. Over to you.
Thank you very much. It's often extremely hard to do a session right after lunch, but I'll try to keep this as lively and as engaging as possible. I think one of the biggest issues facing Indian youth, just before I started the presentation, if the PPT can be loaded onto the screen. Perfect. Thank you. I think one of the biggest issues facing not just Saraswat youth, but youth around the world is the way I was actually introduced. It's always the son of so-and-so and ascribing a large amount to the father. I think my one message to everyone, just at the onset, to all the youth who are actually here at the onset, is that even though you may walk in your father's footsteps, make sure you're never actually in the shadows. So I'm starting off with the presentation about India as a $5 trillion economy and how Saraswat youth can actually play a meaningful role in the upliftment of our community. Next. There's some issue with the screen. Perfect, huh? So yeah, I think they've actually fixed the issues with the screen. So this talk is actually meant for next. This entire talk is actually meant for the future, which is basically our youth. And one of the most important drivers of the youth, as everyone knows, is of course their mothers, after all. And this talk is not actually meant for basically everyone else, which is for people who are not the future. Next. Next. So India is ready to take its place as a top 3 economy in the world by the year 2030 itself. I will actually go through the details of India and how we've actually done. But I think the burning question is not whether India will actually reach its manifest destiny or not. The actual question is going to be is what role are all of us going to play in India's quest to actually become a Vishwaguru and a dominant market force in the entire world. Next. Next. Thank you. So just starting off by actually just going through India at a glance, I'm fairly certain everyone's very fluent with this. We're a country we're the largest, most populous country in the entire world, boasting a population of about 1.4 billion as of now, with an annual population growth rate of just under 1%. From an economy standpoint, we're the 5th largest economy in the world in terms of GDP. We've recently beaten our colonial masters, Britain, because of all the turmoil and everything that's happening over there. But on the purchasing power parity terms, which is the amount of goods or services your currency can actually buy, India is actually the 3rd largest economy in the entire world, boasting close to 1 trillion as part of that. We've actually crossed, on a per capita income basis, the magical number of $2,000, which means we've actually moved from a means of living which is sustenance to actual consumption. And that inflection point of $2,000 is important because the entire stage of growth that happens for the rest of the world, of all the other countries that have been there in the world, is when they've actually crossed that magical figure as of now. If you've actually seen, despite all the hoopla about a large amount of debt being part of the Indian economy, our interest coverage, our interest forms only 20% of our entire gross revenue. If you compare it to any of the other countries, such as our neighbors, such as Pakistan, China, Nepal, Sri Lanka, anyone, the number has actually been far higher. And a gross debt to equity ratio is actually below for a developing country, what you'll actually see. So India's fundamentals are exceptionally strong when it actually comes to this. Next. If you look at the GDP growth in India as well, we've actually had we've shed the tag of the Hindu rate of growth since liberalization in the year 1991. We've actually been growing at an astounding rate of just over 8% over the entire year. COVID, of course, was a blip, but India's economy actually shrank far lesser than any of the comparable economies across the entire world. And the estimate now, when this budget estimates are coming out, shows that from 2022 onwards, we've once again gotten onto a strong footing for India to actually end up growing. The nominal growth rate is supposed to be about 11%, and if you actually compound that 11% as a function of time, by the year 2030, we should comfortably be a $5 trillion economy. Next. The world, as we know, is also changing very dramatically. Before the 1800s, India and China were, go back. Thank you. The world is also changing dramatically. Before the 1800s, India and China were the drivers of the world's growth, and Asia was amongst the largest superpowers that was there. Unfortunately, because both these countries and the entire continent rather missed the industrial revolution that was actually given birth to in England, and because of colonization, we've actually seen that figure dip considerably over time. But we are seeing an inflection point as Mr. G.D. Bakshin actually have spoken about, and just before the year 2050 itself, Asia should once again become the most dominant power, with the 2 growth engines of that being both China and India. Next. In India, I think India is a country of large numbers, and it's also very important to actually put our place in the entire world. If you look at it from the component of cement, we're actually the 2nd largest cement manufacturer in the world. In terms of 4-wheelers as well, we're the 4th largest in the world. In terms of IT and ITES, we're actually the 4th largest in the entire world, generating export revenues of over $200 billion, which is a substantial amount of money, and our communities actually played a strong role in that, which I'll actually speak about a little later. When it comes to wireless phones, electricity production, or any of the means of consumption or production, India is actually amongst the top 5 in the entire world, which shows that we have a strong industrial base to support what we're going to do. Next. Next, if you look at even when it comes to raw materials for that matter, when it comes to coal, iron ore, textile, and the railways, we have actually seen significant investments in these particular areas, which actually makes a very strong base for continuous compounding growth, which is essential for the country to realize its economic dreams as well. We have, even with the large lithium deposits that was found in Jammu and Kashmir right now, the ability for India to become truly Atmanirbhar, even when it comes to electric vehicles as well, is strong, and we do have a strong leader and a strong governance system, which can help us to actually capitalize upon these areas. Next. And when it comes to when it comes to grains or anything for that matter, India is actually self-sufficient. This has held us very good during the Russian-Crimean War, whereas you know the entire global supply chain for food was actually hollowed out. And India was one of the only countries that could continue to actually maintain exports and thereby establish itself as a breadbasket of the world, breadbasket world. So not just as a Vishwa Guru, but also as a person who gives bhojan to the entire world as well. Next. When it comes to the financial base that we have in the country also, and I don't have to speak about that to all the people who are from the Saraswat community. After all, we've had very deep roots in the financial system for a long period of time. But we've seen a number of demat accounts actually cross 100 million as of now. One of the largest stockbroking apps in the country is also Zerodha, which are of course formed by people from our community as well. We have over 5,000 companies that have been listed in the stock exchange also. And we look at the investment that India actually gathers. India is one of the largest foreign direct investment destinations in the world, and the Indian startup ecosystem has played a very strong role in that as well. The financializations of savings, especially away from gold, is a crucial element to ensure that capital is available for the most productive areas of society in order for us to grow. Next. I think one of the greatest strengths and assets of India is actually the core of this presentation, which is India's youth. We have a young population, far younger than everyone else in the entire world, with an average age of 29. If you actually contrast that with the Chinese story, China will actually end up growing old before China actually ends up growing rich, which is why it ends up in that middle income trap. And India, because of the fact that we have the youth population being exceptionally large, for that matter, and the average age of the country being just 29, India has the ability to break this sort of middle income trap and to become a large, rich and prosperous country before we actually end up becoming an old country itself. Next. If we continue this as well and you extrapolate the trends, India's working population is supposed to be 2/3 of its entire 1.4 billion by the year 2025. We will have, in the history of the world, the largest, most productive labor force that's there. And given the investments we've made into technology as well, those investments in turn will help India realize its dream. And the most important thing is a large amount of that is concentrated in the middle class. And the middle class has actually been the backbone of the entire country, helping it increase consumption, helping it increase productivity, and helping to contribute to economic growth as well. Next. When it comes to education also, India has amongst the largest university networks in the entire world as well. Over 1,000 universities, over 42,000 colleges. And if you notice in terms of specialized courses, we have engineering and IT and computer sciences contributing about 4.5 million engineers. There are 6 million software engineers in the entire world. India itself actually is home to 4.5 million of them as of now, and the remaining actually end up being, a majority of them are in the US. And as we all know, 30% of the founders in Silicon Valley are also Indian or Indian origin. So it is actually India and Indian intellect that's actually powering the global innovation ecosystem and it's actually compounding for all of us. Next. Next. Thank you. But one of the things that's holding India back is the unequal growth, which is also a large opportunity set in itself. The majority of Indians are actually working in the agricultural sector, where more than 42% are working there, which actually has the slowest growth rate amongst everyone. And until and unless we can actually get people off the farm and into offices, into manufacturing and into services, the ability for India to actually realize this large and substantial growth won't happen. And that's why we've seen a large number of government schemes and interventions specifically designed to actually improve and double the farmer's income. The moment we can end up achieving this, that is when India can actually end up actually realizing its inflection point and becoming far stronger. And I think among the opportunity sets that exist in the world, I think this particular set is actually going to be the strongest one, which I'm going to speak about a little later in the presentation as well. Next. We are in back. We are in the world where digitization has actually transformed the world. Digitization has actually led to a large amount of levelization, but what that means is that it's actually made the entire world flat. Out of the 7.91 billion people who are there in the world, about close to 60% of them actually have internet connections as of now. India had its mobile revolution in the form of Jio, which actually brought down the price of data. India has among the cheapest costs of data across the entire world. And when Indians actually came onto the World Wide Web as itself, we've actually fundamentally altered the DNA of the internet. The largest channel on YouTube is no longer an American channel, it's actually an Indian channel. You look at the top 10 people that are on Twitter, the top 20 people that are on Twitter, you're actually seeing Indians actually making their faces and their voices heard to a much larger extent. We have homegrown giants like Coup, who have also come about and are actually challenging the dominance of American technology giants itself. Next. India has benefited tremendously from this, despite having a fairly low level of urbanization. We actually have people who have mobile phones and who actually have 4G internet before they've actually ended up having a Pakka house itself. We've actually seen the internet population become large, and as everyone knows, usually when it comes to New Year's or anything, it's actually India is the only country in the world that can actually bring down WhatsApp because of the sheer amount of volume of messages that we actually end up sending throughout the entire day. Next. India has done a tremendous leap. It's actually been a leapfrog when it comes to the earlier generations. Every other country in the world has actually gone through various iterations and generations of technology, all the way from your dial-up connection to your broadband connection, then moving on to mobile internet and moving on to 4G. Whereas in India, for that matter, I'm fairly certain people in this room would also remember that in the year 1995, it was almost impossible to actually get a connection. But by the year 2005 actually came about, in 10 short years alone, 2G had actually become regnant across the entire country itself. As part of that, we've actually had people leapfrog a large amount of the generational debt that existed in terms of technology, which actually gives us a clean base upon which we can actually start building and compounding. That's actually realized in India's internet becoming a $180 billion opportunity, which is amongst the largest opportunity sets available in the world. And a good chunk of that entire opportunity is now being monopolized by Indian talent and Indian intellect, but we need to start seeing Indian capital coming into this area as well. Next. Coming to the fact of our community, I think everyone in this room, especially in this hall, should be extremely proud of the fact that our community has been one amongst the key drivers of growth, all the way from the very creation of India as a nation in 1947, going all the way forward. Next. Even from the birth of independent India as well, not many people actually know this, but the constituent advisor was actually a person from the Saraswat community. This is a person called Justice B.N. Rao, and Justice B.N. Rao was also acknowledged by Dr. Ambedkar as being one of the firmest voices in the creation of the Constitution. So the document that actually governs the entire nation actually has a Saraswat footprint when it actually comes to that, and actually speaks volumes about the polity that our community ends up espousing. Next. When it comes to the makers of an independent country also, education as the foundation of modern India has always been strong, and our community has always created colleges, created scholarships, created schools, and everything as well. The Vishwa Konkani Foundation has also been one of the largest language scholarships that's come about in the world to ensure that our community has the right access to education and can actually end up compounding as well. Next. When it comes to banking and financial services, this has been a mainstay. Banking has played a fundamental role in the channelization of people's savings. And everyone, I'm sure, has had an account in one of these three banks: Canara Bank, Corporation Bank, and Syndicate Bank. Even though some of these have been merged now, the legacies actually still remain. And the ability of our community to actually end up generating this sort of banking infrastructure, which has become the bedrock for the growth of any nation, has been impressive itself. There are a large number of people who actually own their first house, their first car, their first large asset purchase to the loan that was actually given by one of these banks, which was actually started by our community people as well. Next. When it comes to technology, even though Bangalore has become synonymous with Silicon Valley, many people forget the fact that the architect of Silicon Valley was Dr. R.K. Baliga. Dr. R.K. Baliga had actually gone overseas to study. He worked in Siemens, he worked in GE, and the like. And when he came back and he saw the valley, he actually wanted to recreate that entire piece in Bangalore and in Karnataka itself. He was the founder of a company known as Kionix, and Kionix was instrumental in the creation of Electronic City. And Electronic City, as we all know, it's become the Silicon Valley of India and has generated the largest GDP in the entire state. Bangalore by itself, thanks to Electronic City, generates 72% of India's entire GDP as we go about. Next. When it comes to even the arts and the entertainment as well, we've had luminaries actually come across. So as you can see, our communities played a vital role in the entire story and the history of India. There are pieces and whispers of our community littered throughout the entire stage, and that's a contribution that we've actually made. Next. So as you can see, the present that we have as well is actually extremely strong because we do stand on the shoulders of a number of giants. The people from our community have gone on to actually make India extremely proud in a number of related areas. Next. If you look at financial services as well, we've actually had the Kamath brothers actually break the monopoly of the large banks and the large brokers through Zerodha itself. They generated over 10,000 crores of revenue a year with close to about 4,000 crores of profits, dwarfing the likes of any of the larger listed entities that are there. And it's been done bootstrapped in a manner that only they actually knew best. Next. The architects of the technology revolution in India also was of course people from our community. Nandan has been one of the largest force drivers and multipliers in the world. The Aadhaar project actually boasts the largest number of registrants in the entire world. When he actually built UPI as well, which has become a marvel, and people in the G20 summit also speak about the fact that it's the ability for an Indian to actually make instantaneous payments from a bank account to another bank account at near zero cost is actually unparalleled in the world. If UPI by itself was actually a company, it would dwarf the likes of PayPal, dwarf the likes of Visa, dwarf the likes of MasterCard and everyone as well. And so we had our people who have actually held us very strong when it comes to these areas. Next. When it comes to education as well, one of the largest private education conglomerates in India is also helmed by a person who's also from a committee, which is Dr. Ranjan Pai. Next. So I think the most important element now, we've had a very proud past, we have a very strong present. But what's crucial for us now is to ensure that how do we secure our future and how do we actually end up uplifting the community. I think this is the area where our youth can actually play the strongest and the most outsized role. Next. And the way to end up doing this is to actually understand the power of an ecosystem. I think, so when I was actually debating the idea of how to actually make this presentation, I was thinking of what sort of idea can I actually seed in the entire community. And that's when I realized that the power of a community doesn't arise from the individual members who are there. The power of the community arises from the ecosystem that they create. And the best analogy for what an ecosystem is actually explained in the form of a balance sheet. Next. Well, it's simple, where in a balance sheet, as we all know, one person's income is actually another person's expense. And next. And one person's assets actually becomes another person's liabilities. Next. So understanding this fundamental equation will actually help us capture value across the entire transaction chain. If you've noticed, a large number of communities in India do tremendous work when it comes to community upliftment. They do have projects, they do have scholarships, they do have grants, they do have everything. But I think one of the biggest differentiators that all of us are yet to understand is the power of commerce. A large amount of communities, if you've seen, they make sure that if they are on the producer side, the trading side, or the consumption side, they actually seek out people from their own community to align in terms of their interests. So the entire value that exists across that transaction chain can actually be kept with them. And this is also translated to a new age economy now, where it goes all the way from seeding them with capital, helping mentor to actually create them, becoming their first customers, becoming their investors, and the ultimate exit chain. They have people from their community actually helping and building that out. And that creates a virtuous cycle that can only end up compounding. Next. Because the power of an ecosystem is something that people actually fail to understand. If we look at the technology ecosystem in the world as well, even though we're exceptionally proud of our IT services giants, your Infosys, your Wipro, your Tata, and your HCL, they actually take the smallest slice of the entire profit pie that exists because they actually work in services. All services are implementation of products, which is where companies like IBM, Zoho, Freshworks, and SAP come about. But all these products actually work within the confines of a platform, which is how Android, iOS, Zerodha, Paytm, all these have actually created strong platforms that have the ability to generate multiple products. And what actually lies below the product, below the platform, is actually the strongest base, which is the ecosystem. There are 4 large tech ecosystems in the world. There's Google, there's Apple, there's Facebook, and then there's Microsoft. 50% of them are actually helmed by Indians. But the question to actually ask is, why haven't Indians actually created these kind of ecosystems by themselves? Because more often than not, rather than actually looking inwards, rather than looking within the community, we end up actually looking outside. We end up actually getting fragmented. So creating that entire ecosystem and insourcing all that value creation will actually ensure that we are in very strong footing and we can end up actually grow. Next. And our community has actually espoused this for a very, very long period of time. Our communities actually, we've gone through an entire virtuous cycle, what I call virtuous cycle 1.0, which has helped the community actually go from being below the poverty line to actually reaching the middle class itself. Next. We had, not many people know this, but close to 23 people from a community became the chairman and the founders of various banks and various public sector units. That in turn actually gave jobs not just to people from our community, which is close to 1.5 lakhs, but people in all the states that they actually end up inhabiting. The job creation and the economic development that they actually did next actually led to a large amount of social upliftment. The social upliftment that happened within these people actually getting their jobs and that financial security allowed them to start investing in their children's education. Now, the moment you invested in that education for that matter, you made sure that your child actually had a better life than you. An Indian mother, a Saraswat mother rather, would actually sacrifice one meal, would actually buy one less sari, to ensure that their children can actually go to a better school, can go to a better college, and lead a better quality of life that's actually there. And that education actually gave birth to the middle class. And it took another Saraswat, next, Dr. R.K. Baliga, to actually come back and light that spark and to actually create electronic city in Bangalore, which is actually housed, as you know, Infosys and a large number of the companies that have actually come up. And these companies, in turn, finally over the span of close to 20 or 30 years, next, have actually helped India export more software than Saudi Arabia exports oil. All this can actually be traced back to the work that the people from our community have actually done and the power of an ecosystem that they've actually created. And that's how we could actually end up creating this sort of change. The ecosystem exists outside of the individual, but the ecosystem involves every single individual who's actually part of that entire community. I think the biggest role that our community youth can play right now is to actually lay the seeds of the next virtuous cycle and the next ecosystem that's there. Next. Another outcome of the ecosystem building that's actually happened is the Indian startup ecosystem that's been created as of now. India has more than 108 unicorns that have created $344 billion of value in the last 10 years alone. By the year 2025, the year 2026, there'll be close to 250 different unicorns that should have created value of close to $800 billion to $1 trillion itself. And in this new revolution that's actually engulfing the nation is where we can actually play the strongest role. Next. The success in the old area was actually the combination of two important factors. One was the mercantile power as well as intellectual power. Mercantile power, as the previous speakers have actually alluded to, is the ability to actually create goods, create services, and to end up actually trading them. Now, to a large extent, our communities are done exceptionally well when it comes to trading, and we've been the intellectual powerhouses of a large amount of revolutions that have actually happened. But more often than not, we've been enablers. We haven't really been active participants or the creators when it actually comes to this. Next. And success in the new area is actually going to be the combination of two different factors. It's no longer the mercantile power or the ability to trade that actually becomes important. It's intellectual power and the ability to distribute and disseminate that intellectual power throughout the entire ecosystem. And because of digitization, as I mentioned, it's actually brought down the cost of distribution to a large extent. A person sitting in Mangalore, a person sitting in Goa, a person sitting in Jammu and Kashmir for that matter, can actually reach out to every single person in the entire world. We're no longer confined by the geographies of where we are from. Geography has actually become history. It's important for us to understand and grasp what this actually means. Next. I think the important part of our community is the fact that we are actually the financial powerhouse of India. Regardless of what anyone may actually say, it's our community that's actually given birth to a large amount of the banking systems that are there. If you actually look at luminaries such as Shamrao, Vital Kalkani as well as Dr. K.V. Kamath and a whole host of other people, we've actually hemmed the entire financial services that's there. In fact, I'm fairly certain every Saraswat mother we have always pushes their children to actually start doing something in finance to a large extent. So much so that if you ask me, the A in CA shouldn't actually stand for accountant, it should actually stand for Ramchi. Next. Next. So the blueprint for the virtuous cycle 2.0. Next. Thank you. So the blueprint for the virtuous cycle 2.0, I think is actually being crucial. Next. Because despite being a small community, our strength actually lies in numbers. It's a natural, innate talent that actually comes to us. Not numbers in terms of the people we have. We are close to only 12 lakh people scattered across the entire world, but actually in terms of crunching them, in terms of processing them, in terms of actually understanding and analyzing them. That sort of analytical skill is something that no one can actually end up taking away. That analytical skill is actually one of the strongest accelerants to the creation of any industry that's actually there. If you look at any industry that's come out in India, you look at mining, you look at industrial bases, you look at crushing, you look at financial services, you look at IT services, you look at anything for that matter, there's always one of our people who's there, either in the top management or is actually leading the entire charge itself. Next. Even though we've always been enablers, I think the important part for us now is to actually end up becoming entrepreneurs. Next. Next. I think the last, just running out of time as well, but I think the best way for us, the strongest part to success, I think is not a question I'm actually going to leave to the youth. It's up to the youth to actually create the entire community. But my last message is actually for all the mothers who are there. Next. Which is, don't ask your child to get a secure job. I've also been through that where everyone says as you graduate college or anything for that matter, they make sure what job are you getting? Is it a secure job? Can you get a pension from that? Will you work over there? Retire? I think that's a wrong question to ask as of now. Next. Rather than asking them to get a secure job, ask them to create many. Ask them to actually create an ecosystem. I think India can become not just a $5 trillion economy, but a $25 trillion economy if the Saraswat ecosystem that actually allowed India to generate more than 200 billion of IT exports actually ends up playing a stronger role now. And for that, it's up to every single person in this room to contribute to that. Thank you.
Excellent presentation, Siddharth. I think very thoughtful it is. I think we can contribute a lot, I think, as per what Siddharth has said. Any questions to Siddharth? We'll take 3-4 questions. Yes.
Hi, sir. You talked about the value of an ecosystem versus a product, but isn't it true that something like a Google started out as a service, then converted to a product, then became a platform, and then turned into an ecosystem? Like, doesn't everything start as a service or a product and eventually translate, or does something just start as an ecosystem?
It doesn't matter where you start, it matters where you end. Now see, even there's a fundamental difference between a product and a feature. A product is something that can stand alone, be by itself, and can actually stand up to any sort of scrutiny or competition. Whereas a feature is something that can be copied fairly easily. When Google actually came about, Google was a product, like you said. There have been services companies, for that matter, who have actually gone down all the way to actually become ecosystems by themselves. There have been ecosystem companies who over time have actually become products or point solutions also. So the important part over there is, doesn't matter where you start on the value chain. So long as you can create and inculcate an ecosystem around you, I think that's where the virtuous cycle actually begins.
Cool. Hi Siddharth, Sanmesh this side. So I go back to your slide when you mentioned that there are 107 unicorns. I am also a part of one unicorn. So what I've observed here is that there are two parts of India, right? There is the affluent urban India, and then there is Bharat, which is the rural part. A lot of the unicorns right now, 80-90%, cater to the urban ones. What's your view on Bharat 2.0? Whether it's the rural India economy in terms of digital, any unicorns can come about, and are we in the right age?
We are. No, that's actually a fantastic question. See, the large number of unicorns that have come about right now have solved the problems of urban India. Similar to the same problems that a person in the valley has is what they've solved here. So if you ask me, Silicon Valley is actually solved for the first 1 billion people, first 1 billion internet users. But it'll be India that actually solves for the next 6 billion people that's actually coming online. We've seen the thesis also that the urban India was the lowest hanging fruit, for that matter. I think that's also been saturated. And we've seen the value destruction that's happening now, along the lines of Paytm and others, for that matter, stands testament to that. But the people who actually end up building for the rest of India actually become crucial. You look at the slide I spoke about in agriculture as well. 42% of the nation is actually growing at 3.4%. Whereas you look at services or manufacturing, that's actually compounding at 15% itself. So the opportunity set that does actually arise. Now, rather than sitting on our chairs and trying to figure out, can someone do it? Can he do it? Will she do it? Why don't we actually do it? We are people who have actually understood this. We have people within our community who have actually been part and parcel of this. All of us have ancestral land, ancestral village, where we've actually seen the same kind of problems that are actually there. Rather than creating solutions for the urban affluent, for that matter, create it for mass. Because India has that, the first 100 million English speakers are not your target audience. It's the next 1.3 billion people who actually speak in their local language, breathe in their local language, curse in their local language, sing in their local language. Those are the people who will actually end up making this entire country. So rather than concentrating only on the small set that's there, take a step back, create an ecosystem that actually caters to everyone else also.
In one of the slides, you had mentioned that since the font was very small, we couldn't read actually. India has got the youngest population. It was, I think, average age is 27 that you showed.
29, yes.
29. Which is the second youngest country in the world?
No, so youngest countries, see, there are countries in Africa, etc., that have an average age of about 24, 25. So Nigeria, etc., do actually have that. Now the problem is, does the opportunity set actually exist in that kind of country? So amongst the top 5 largest countries in the world, India is actually amongst the youngest. It's actually the 4th largest country in the entire world itself. China has an average age close to 40, about 37 if not mistaken. Japan's actually coming close to 50 right about now. And US is also aging to a large extent. So the demographic dividend that all of us have heard about for the longest period of time has actually finally been paid off because of the investment in technology. I think that in turn will actually allow Indians to make sure that we grow richer before we actually end up growing older.
Second thing is, now with 27 or 29 average age, with the skill development program is going on, do you see they will be contributing immensely to the 5 trillion economy target?
So according to the Honorable Finance Minister, the new age economy and youth are supposed to contribute 20% of 1 trillion for that matter. So far, the new age economy has contributed about 500 to 600 odd billion. Therefore, the ability for us to actually make that kind of outsized contribution actually depends on the work and the effort we end up putting in. I think India's history has been written by people who's come before us, but India's future is going to be written by those people in that 29-year bracket who would have become 2/3 of the entire workforce as we end up actually building out. So Amrit Kal is something that we're not going to inherit, is something that we're actually going to create.
Yeah, this is the last question. Hey Siddharth, Shravan here. So you spoke about the ecosystem creation and taking the startups, and that is being the future of the country, right? So my question is, see, there is two routes to go about a startup. One is the Zerodha route, which is a bootstrap company. The other ones are raising funds and going ahead. And most of them, the ones who have raised funds and become a unicorn in the last 1 year, which has listed, has been in a negative cash flow cycle. So which one would be the better option to take? Because if we are not going that funding route, right, there is the competitor who's trying to eat us out. Or if we are going on the bootstrap end, there is that latency in the target achievement. So how would you recommend to balance out this equation?
See, don't look at accelerants as a means of actually achieving scale. Look at the core value proposition. If you look at the companies who've actually listed now, they've never been able to achieve a large amount of their core value proposition itself. See, capital can't fundamentally alter your business. Capital only enables you to end up investing into a business and end up scaling it. If the idea is flawed, there is no amount of capital in the world that can actually end up saving you. Which is why we've seen SoftBank collapse the way it actually has. It invested large sums of money into very, very flawed ideas. Similarly, bootstrapping as well. I don't think a Zerodha could actually bootstrap the way they did over the last 10 years if they actually started off as of now. The entire game has actually changed. The amount of capital that's been weaponized and used has actually increased. So don't look at whether should I raise capital, should I not raise capital. If you have a strong enough idea, capital will actually end up chasing you. We live in a world now where there's a scarcity of ideas and there's a surplus of capital. That's why we've seen overinflated valuations actually come up. It's why the stock market rose the way it did and collapsed the way it actually did. Capital comes in waves. Move away from the noise that it ends up creating. Look at the strong signal and the undercurrent that's there. If you can tap into that, that will actually end up holding you in much better stead. Capital is an outcome of the work that you end up doing. Rather than looking at capital, look at what you can achieve now. And then see whether you need capital to scale or whether you can actually have inherent intrinsic cash flows that allow you to actually end up growing.
Good afternoon. A question from me here.
Yes. Hello.
I've gone through your program. It's mostly statistics. I'm not a statistician. But I'm going to the last point you have pointed out. You're telling the children, you're telling the parents to tell the children to create opportunities, right? Now my question is, if a boy, a 12th standard student, clears his examination and approaches those 3 banks you named, Konkani Amchi Bank, for loan, he's always denied. He's forced to go to another bank, which is a non-Amchi bank, for grant of loan. Number 1. Number 2, if he files an application under RTI, he is admonished. If he approaches the ombudsman will call up the parents and tell to discipline the children. I am talking from facts. I file RTI in many banks and I always notice that loans to people are always denied. In very rare cases, unless parents belong to a very influential family or political connection, they get the loan. When a 12th standard cannot get the loan, how do you expect them to create opportunities? I'll go back to history. Let's go back to 1947.
Make it small. Yeah. Huh? You already asked
Please,
questions. Yeah.
last question. 147. We had one person who spoke in Konkani in the Lok Sabha. You know the name of the person?
He's a person who ensured that Konkani was introduced as part of the national language.
It showed that you want to avoid. See, he's forcing me. It is what happens to Amchi people who want to go for business.
You already asked 2 questions. Let him answer it. Yeah.
No, I think, see, what you actually illustrated over there is a problem. Now, who's going to come up, like I said, who's going to come up with a solution? Is it fair to end up sitting on an armchair and say this is a problem and do nothing about it? Or rather inspire the people around to say this is a problem that we face, let's actually solve it. Now, we don't have to go to banks or anyone for loans and all for that matter. The ability for you to actually create a fintech company, ability to actually tap into the community for loans or capital does actually exist. The people controlling most of these banks also belong to our community. The credit underwriting rules in this country are trash. I think no one's going to end up actually arguing that. The government actually ends up taking care of the larger macro opposed to the person who's actually there. We can't rely on the government or anyone else to take care of the community. If there are people within the community who don't refuse to support us, stand up on your own 2 feet. There have been numerous entrepreneurs who come out despite being denied a loan by the same bank itself. The difference is they don't complain and they don't end up actually stopping. They find an avenue that works. So the process of creation of an ecosystem actually involves making sure you actually get back up every time you get knocked back down. Otherwise, you end up being old and bitter, and that does nothing for anyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you very much. Now we have our next presentation by Dinesh Kamatji. I would like to...
Sanskrit, essential part of our culture and national identity. Born in a small Pracharak of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh for 49 long years. He is the All India Organizing Secretary of Samskrita Bharati. He has been working for the rejuvenation of Sanskrit through Samskrita Bharati in 27 countries and 624 districts in India. He holds a master's in Sanskrit. Over to you, Shri Dinesh Kamat.
सर्वेभ्यः मम नमस्काराः। जनाः पश्यन्ति संस्कृतं भारते संस्कृतं आश्चर्येण पश्यन्ति। संस्कृतं किमर्थम् इति पश्यन्ति जनाः। आधुनिकयुगे आङ्ग्लभाषा, जर्मन् भाषा, फ्रेञ्च् भाषां पठन्ति। मम बालः फ्रेञ्च् पठेत्, जर्मन् पठेत्, सः विश्वे सर्वत्र गच्छेत्। संस्कृतं स्वीकृत्य किं भविष्यति? संस्कृतं आपको बैलगाड़ी जमाना ले जाएगी। ऐसा संस्कृत हमें क्यों चाहिए इति जनानां प्रश्नः भवति। सत्यं वा? आम् उत न? आम्। पश्यन्तु, सर्वेषां हृदये सा धारणा अस्ति। संस्कृतं पुरातनं, वेदाः, पुराणानि, उपनिषत् अस्माकं कृते कः लाभः? आङ्ग्लभाषा इंग्लिश रोजी रोटी ददाति, संस्कृतं रोजी रोटी ददाति वा इति जनानां प्रश्नः। इदानीं सत्रे अपि प्रथमसत्रे सर्वत्र जनाः, भोजनं समाप्तं, जनाः गताः। नितिन महोदयस्य सत्रे आङ्ग्लभाषा चर्चा जाता। ये आङ्ग्ल भाषां न जानन्ति, हिंदी जनाः दृष्टवन्तः, ते सर्वे गतवन्तः। इदानीं केवलम् आङ्ग्लप्रियाः एव सन्ति, हिंदी प्रियाः गतवन्तः। इदानीं मम प्रश्नः, अहम् इत्युक्ते भवन्तः संस्कृतप्रियः हस्तम् उन्नयन्तु। अरे कैमरा घुमाइए। सर्वे अपि संस्कृतप्रियाः किमर्थम् इत्युक्ते वयं सर्वे सारस्वताः विश्वस्य सारस्वतानां रक्ते संस्कृतश्रद्धा अस्ति। इदानीम् अहं संस्कृतेन मम संवादः भाषणं सम्भाषणं कुर्वन् अस्मि। के संस्कृतं न जानन्ति ते हस्तम् उन्नयन्तु। संस्कृतं न अवगच्छामि न जानामि इति ते हस्तम् उन्नयन्तु। केचन सन्ति संस्कृतम् अवगच्छामि जानामि ते सर्वे हस्तम् उन्नयन्तु। तृतीयम् अहं न अवगच्छामि अवगच्छामि भवान यदुक्तवान तदेव न अवगच्छामि। आपने जो बताया वही मुझे पता नहीं चला। ये सभी हाथ ऊपर उठाइए। अभी तक मैंने संस्कृत में ही बोला। जो संस्कृत नहीं जानते हैं हाथ ऊपर उठाइए। आप में कई लोगों ने हाथ उठाया। मैंने संस्कृत में पूछा और आपने हाथ ऊपर उठाया। उसका अर्थ है सर्वे संस्कृतं जानन्ति। किमर्थं जानन्ति? अनजाने कोंकणी भाषा द्वारा कन्नड़ भाषा द्वारा मराठी हिंदी अन्यान्य भाषा द्वारा वयं संस्कृतं जानीमः। संस्कृत वर्णमाला अ आ इ उ अस्माकं सर्वभारतीय भाषाणां वर्णमाला। संस्कृत शब्दावली भारतीय भाषासु मराठी कोंकणी हिंदी मारवाड़ी गुजराती पंजाबी कश्मीरी बंगाली असमिया उड़िया कन्नड़ भाषा सर्वभाषासु संस्कृत शब्दाः एव सन्ति। उदाहरणार्थं माता पिता सरस्वती स्वामीजी सभा पुरुषाः महिलाः वस्त्रं वस्त्रालयः दन्तः दन्तचिकित्सालयः नेत्रचिकित्सालयः शङ्करनेत्रालयः नारायण हृदयालयः पादरक्षा हस्तः केशः तैलं सूर्यः चन्द्रः चन्द्रमा मंदिरं पूजारी विद्यालयः विश्वविद्यालयः छात्रः छात्रावासः मार्गः नगरसभा लोकसभा राज्यसभा प्रधानमंत्री राष्ट्रपति कृषिकः सर्वं संस्कृतमयम्। हम बोल रहे हैं ये हिंदी है ये बंगाली है ये कोंकणी है। कहाँ है आपकी बंगाली आपकी कोंकणी? संस्कृत को हटाएंगे तो केवल पुस्तक में बाइंड रहेगा। सर्वभाषासु भाषाणां शब्दावली संस्कृत शब्दावली अस्ति। संस्कृतं नास्ति चेत् भारतीय भाषाः न सन्ति। संस्कृतं सर्वभारतीय भाषाणां जननी। At least it has enriched every language of not just India. चीना देशस्य मैंडरिन भाषायां सहस्र शब्दाः संस्कृत शब्दाः सन्ति। जापानी भाषायां अहं विश्वस्य विभिन्नेभ्यः देशेभ्यः गच्छामि। 27 देशेषु संस्कृत भारती कार्यम् अस्ति। 27 in 27 countries। यूरोप मध्ये जर्मनी मध्ये अस्ति फ्रांस मध्ये अस्ति UK मध्ये अस्ति, अमेरिका मध्ये, USA मध्ये अस्ति, केनडा मध्ये अस्ति, आफ्रिकन् देशेषु कीन्या टान्जानिया मध्ये, कैरिबियन्स् मध्ये तत्रापि अस्ति, आस्ट्रेलिया न्यूजीलैंड मध्ये अस्ति, मलेशिया सिंगापुर मध्ये अस्ति, दुबै अबुधाबी कतार ओमान इदानीं सऊदी अरेबिया मध्ये अपि संस्कृतभारती कार्यं वर्धमानम् अस्ति। सर्वभाषासु संस्कृतस्य प्रभावः दृश्यते। सर्वे संस्कृतम् इच्छन्ति। किमर्थम् इच्छन्ति? संस्कृतं ज्ञानस्य भाषा, नॉलेज ट्रेडिशन संस्कृते एवं अस्ति। डू यू नो देर आर 45 lakh manuscripts in Sanskrit. 45 lakh, 45 लक्ष ग्रन्थाः विश्वे अन्यभाषासु कुत्र अस्ति? मैंडरिन मध्ये अस्ति वा, चीनी देशस्य भाषायाम् अस्ति वा, जपानी मध्ये अस्ति वा, जर्मन फ्रेंच मध्ये नास्ति एव। आंग्लभाषा केवलं सहस्रवर्षेभ्यः अस्ति। अहम् अन्यभाषाः न्यूनाः इति न वदामि, किन्तु संस्कृतम् इट् इस् द रिचेस्ट लैंग्वेज। संस्कृतं भारतस्य भाषा। वयं सर्वे भारतीयाः। संस्कृतस्य संस्कृते अतः प्रारंभः अह पर्यन्तं क्रमः कथम् अस्ति पश्यन्तु। एकवारं मुखम् उद्घाटयामि। अ आ इ उ ऋ लृ ए ऐ ओ अं अः। अतः अह पर्यन्तम् अन्य स्वराक्षराणि विश्वे कस्यापि भाषायां न सन्ति। संस्कृत स्वर्णमाला, इट इज द स्वरमाला, इट इज द परफेक्टेड स्वरमाला। वैज्ञानिक, इट इज द फोनेटिक लैंग्वेज। अग्रे व्यंजनं पश्यन्तु। क ख इदानीम् अग्रे जिह्वायाः उपरि तालु स्पर्शः भवति। च छ ज झ ञ निर्दिष्ट स्थाने स्पर्शः। अग्रे जिह्वा मूर्धा स्पर्शं करोति। ट ठ ड ढ ण। जिह्वा दन्तस्पर्शं करोति। लघु शिशुः दन्ताः न सन्ति। वृद्धाः दन्ताः पतिताः गताः। शिशवः वृद्धाः ते त थ द ध न उच्चारणं स्पष्टं कर्तुं न शक्नुवन्ति। दन्ताः न सन्ति अथवा दन्ताः पतिताः, ते न न न न न वदन्ति। त थ द ध न। इदानीं पश्यन्तु अग्रिमं दन्तस्य कार्यमपि नास्ति, जिह्वा कार्यमपि नास्ति, केवलं कण्ठः श्वसनम्। ओष्ठकार्यं प फ ब भ। उच्चैः वदन्तु। प ओष्ठयोः ओष्ट्यम्। इदानीं क ख ग घ ङ च वर्गः च च जजन पक्षीणां भाषा काव 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 चिलिपिली एतत् सर्वं पक्षीणां भाषा ट ठ ड ढ न त थ द ध न जलचराणां मत्स्यानां टोप 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 कुर्वन्ति मण्डूकः एम्फिबियन्स् वटर् वटर् टकारः एवं ट त एतत् सर्वं जलचराणाम् उभयचराणां भाषा मनुष्यस्य भाषा प्रारम्भः शिशुः मा इति करोति केवलं भारते न विश्वे सर्वत्र म प फ ब भ म अरब देशे अपि जर्मनी भाषायां जर्मन भाषायामपि मैंडरिन मध्ये अपि विश्वे सर्वभाषासु मा मॉम मम्मी अम्मा पा अप्पा अब्बा बब्बा पप्पा पॉप सर्वभाषासु मनुष्यस्य शिशोः मुखतः पपा बबम प्रगत भाषा यरलव वेदेषु अग्निमीळे पुरोहितं ळे लकारः एतत् सर्वमपि अग्रिमं प्रगत भाषा यरलव श ष स श शङ्करस्य ष षण्मुखः स सुतः श ष स ह ळ क्ष त्र ज्ञ संस्कृतस्य वर्णमाला संस्कृतभाषायाः उच्चारणं लघुबालकः करोति इति चिन्तयतु लघुबालकः he can pronounce not just one language, he can pronounce all the not just Indian languages, even Mandarin, German, Dutch, विश्वस्य या कापि भाषा भवतु सः स्पष्टम् उच्चारणं कर्तुं शक्नोति। उल्टा पोर्चुगीस् जनाः आगतवन्तः पणजी उच्चारणं कर्तुं न शक्तवन्तः। पणजी सामान्य शब्दः, पणजिम कैफे क्वेपम उच्चारणं कर्तुं न शक्तवन्तः। पोर्चुगीस् जनाः अस्माकं गोमन्तकं तद् गोवा अभवत्, उच्चारणं न शक्नुवन्ति। नारायण ना न नारायण नो नारायण, अरे सेकेंड एन इज डिफरेंट। नारायण अहम नारायण नास्मि, नो नो नारायण बिकेम नारायण। एवरीबडीज नेम चेंज्ड। भवतः नाम किम, व्हाट इज योर नेम? माय नेम इज, आई विल टेल, दिनेश। अरे आई एम नॉट दिनेश, आई एम दिनेशः, दिनेश पूर्णाक्षरम, बट आई हैव बिकम दिनेश, नागेश, सारस्वत। अरे वी आर सारस्वत, वी आर नॉट सारस्वत, but we have become Saraswats. Proper noun changed. Delhi, Delhi. अरे देहली, घर की देहली, हुम्बोरो। घर की द्वार में जो देहली रहती है, देहली, देहली को हमने दिल्ली बनाया। कोयम्बतूरू हमने कोयम्बतूर, बेंगलुरु बैंगलोर, कोच्चि कोचिन। अरे वेर इज देयर कोचिन? कोच्चि कोचिन। मैसूरू मैसूर, मैसूर मैसूरू। नामानि परिवर्तितानि, दे कुड नॉट प्रोनाउंस। आंग्ल भाषा परिणामः, अस्माकं भारतीय भाषाः भ्रष्टाः नष्टाः। शब्दावली इदानीं भारते सामान्य ग्रामीणमहिला निरक्षरा इल्लिटरेट् सा अपि इच्छति मम पुत्रः पुत्री उत्तमकार्यं कुर्यात्। किमर्थम्? उत्तमकार्यं करोति चेत् पुण्यप्राप्तिः भवति। सामान्यजनानाम् आस्था, संस्कारः, पुत्रस्य संस्कारः, उत्तमकार्याणि करोतु भवान् पुण्यं प्राप्नोति। अनुत्तमकार्यं, दुष्टकार्यं न करोतु, पापं प्राप्नोति। वयं सर्वे पढ़े लिखे, नॉट लिटरेट्स, वी आर एजुकेटेड, इंग्लिश एजुकेटेड जनाः। वयं आङ्ग्लभाषा विद्यालये केवलं मीडियम् आफ् इन्स्ट्रक्षन् भाषा माध्यमम् एव न, गृहे अपि पुत्रः आङ्ग्लभाषां वदेत्, माम्, पाप्, डैड। गृहे अपि आङ्ग्लभाषा, गृहे बालकः आङ्ग्लभाषां चिन्तयति। इदानीं मातृभाषा दादा दादी, अज्जा अज्जी, अज्जो अज्जी, ते सर्वे तु मातृभाषया वदन्ति, किन्तु माता वदति न न न न न इंग्लिश भाषा, इंग्लिश इंग्लिश। तस्य मस्तिष्कस्य चिन्तनं सः मातृभाषया गृहे चिन्तयति, किन्तु अम्बा वदति न न इंग्लिश इंग्लिश इंग्लिश। गृहात् बहिः गच्छति। इदानीं कर्णाटके, अहं कर्णाटकतः अस्मि, शृङ्गेरी समीपे कळस लघुग्रामः, गृहे कोङ्कणी, गृहात् बहिः गच्छामि कन्नडम्। अस्माकं वस्त्रापणः पितुः, तत्र गच्छामि, काफ़ी टी एस्टेट् कर्मकराः तमिळ् मलयाळं वदन्ति। अनायासेन अहं तमिळ् भाषां जानामि, मलयाळम् अवगच्छामि, कन्नडभाषां जानामि, कोङ्कणी भाषया चिन्तयामि। गृहे कोङ्कणी, कोङ्कणी चिन्तनं, कोङ्कणी भाषणं, किन्तु गृहे माता वदति न न न न इंग्लिश इंग्लिश, माम टायर्ड। परिणामः न घर का न घाट का। तस्य चिन्तनं मातृभाषाया अपि न भवति, आङ्ग्लभाषायामपि पूर्णं न भवति। कन्नडभाषा तु गता। परिणामतः मम कन्नडं कथं भवति? ಈ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ಸು ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ರೀ? ಇದೇ ರೋಡ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಲೆಫ್ಟಿಗೆ 3rd ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟು. ये कन्नड़, बेंगलुरु कन्नड़। हिंदी में आप कहाँ के बिलोंग करते हैं? आपका बिलोंग कहाँ का बिलोंग करता है? शुद्ध हिंदी में 4 वाक्य बता नहीं सकते हिंदी मातृभाषी लोग। मैं बता रहा हूं, हम सारस्वत लोग हैं, शुद्ध हिंदी में। सुबह उठते उठते ही दरवाजा खोलो, ये दरवाजा कहां से आ गया हिंदी में? आज का अखबार दो, ये अखबार कहां से आ गया हिंदी में? आपने समाचार पत्र को अखबार बनाया, समाचार को खबर बनाया, महिला को औरत बनाया, भवन को इमारत बनाया, मार्ग को रास्ता बनाया, पुस्तक को किताब बनाया, लेखनी को कलम बनाया, न्यायालय को अदालत बनाया, न्यायवादी को आपने वकील बनाया। सब अरबी बोल रहे हैं, आप फारसी बोल रहे हैं। बांधवाः, भारत की राज्यांग रचना सभा में, इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली ऑफ इंडिया, 1949 September 10th, Ambedkar brought the resolution, let Sanskrit be the official language of India. Ambedkarah, जनाः पृष्टवन्तः, अरे अरे भवान् तो हरिजन, ब्राह्मणानां भाषा, किमर्थं संस्कृतम् इति अम्बेडकरं पृष्टवन्तः। अम्बेडकरः वदति, क्या संस्कृत ब्राह्मणों की भाषा? किसने बताया? व्यास महर्षि कौन थे? हम व्यासाश्रम में बैठे हैं, व्यास की माँ कौन थी? क्या ब्राह्मण थी? क्या मछुआरी थी? सत्यवती। वाल्मीकि, रामायण आदि कवि, रामायण लिखने वाले वाल्मीकि किस जाति का रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है? व्याध है। कालिदास भेड़ बकरी चराने वाले का बेटा, कुरुब्रह्मण्य। सब लोगों की शादी होती है, शादी होने के बाद नव दंपति को अरुंधति नक्षत्र दिखाते हैं। अरुंधति देखो, दाम्पत्य वशिष्ठ अरुंधति जैसे होना। अरुंधति किस जाति की है? क्या ब्राह्मण है? अस्पृश्य है, शूद्र जाति की है अरुंधति। और हम बोलते हैं संस्कृत तो पुरोहितों की भाषा, ब्राह्मणों की भाषा। किसने बताया? अंबेडकर ने बताया। मैंने वेद भी पढ़े हैं, ऐसे बताया उन्होंने। कहाँ है संस्कृत एक जाति का? कभी भी नहीं है। संस्कृत सब लोगों का। किंतु दूरदृष्टिहीन नायक नेता लोग बैठे थे, लोगों ने ना अंग्रेजी हो। देखिए, भारत की राजभाषा लिंक लैंग्वेज अंग्रेजी। अभी भी हमारे सभी न्यायालय, सरकार का कामकाज अंग्रेजी में होता है। साल में एक बार 15 दिन हिंदी पखवाड़ा मनाया जाता है, हिंदी फोर्टनाइट। कम से कम 15 दिन हिंदी बोले कार्यालयों में, हिंदी दफ्तरों में, कार्यालय भी नहीं, दफ्तर, वहां भी अरबी फारसी बोल रहे हैं। ये स्थिति बने हैं। बांधवाः संस्कृतम अस्माकं भाषा नाम रक्षणार्थम। हिंदी की रक्षा के लिए संस्कृत, कोंकणी की रक्षा के लिए संस्कृत, कन्नड़ की, मलयालम की, देश के सभी भाषा। संस्कृत हैज एनरिच्ड एवरी लैंग्वेज इंक्लूडिंग तमिल। विरोध करते हैं तमिलनाडु के राजनीतिक लोग। तमिलनाडु में सब जिलों में हमारा काम है, संस्कृत भारती का बढ़ रहा है। अभी हमने गीता पारायण का कार्यक्रम किया। 2,80,000 लोगों ने, तमिलनाडु के लोगों ने भाग लिया। रामनाथ कोविंद आए थे कार्यक्रम में भाग लेने के लिए। भेदभाव निवारणार्थम, सामाजिक समरसतार्थम संस्कृतम, फॉर सोशियल हार्मोनी संस्कृत इज ए मस्ट। संस्कृतम अस्माकम। क्यों संस्कृत? अरे जर्मनी में जाकर आप क्यों जर्मनी पूछिए, एक ही यूरोप है, अंग्रेजी क्यों नहीं चलती जर्मनी में? फ्रांस में जर्मन भी नहीं चलता, अंग्रेजी भी नहीं चलती। क्यों नहीं चलती? पूछिए वहां क्यों फ्रेंच नहीं? हम बाहर से प्रवासी जाते हैं, तुम्हारे अंग्रेजी नहीं चलेगी? फ्रांस में फ्रेंच बोलो, नहीं तो एक अनुवादक को, इंटरप्रेटर को पैसे देकर 1 घंटे को इतना पैसा देना है, लेकर जाओ। फ्रांस में फ्रेंच, जापान में, एडवांस्ड कंट्री में बता रहा हूं, जापान में जापानी भाषा, इजराइल में हिब्रू भाषा, भारत में लोग इधर उधर देखते हैं। भारत में भारत की भाषा, तमिलनाडु में तमिल, आंध्र में तेलुगु, गुजरात में गुजराती, महाराष्ट्र मराठी, और कहाँ बंगाली, असमिया, कश्मीरी, ये वो सब है। पूरी भारत की भाषा। बांधवाः वयं भारतीयाः। भारतस्य भाषा संस्कृत भाषा। संस्कृतम वैज्ञानिक भाषा। सब लोगों का, हम चाहे न चाहे, सब लोगों का नाम, मुझे परिचय नहीं है किंतु मैं बता रहा हूं, सब लोगों का नाम संस्कृते एव अस्ति। सत्यम वा? सर्वेषां नामानि नामकरण संस्कारः। 16 संस्कारेषु नामकरण संस्कारः अत्यन्तं महत्वभूत संस्कारः। लघु लघु बालान् युवजनान् पृच्छतु। एषः बालकः उत्तिष्ठतु। भवतः नाम किम? मंजुनाथः कस्यां कक्षायां पठति? प्रथम पदवी शिक्षणे स्नातक शिक्षणे अस्ति। उत्तमम्। इदानीं किञ्चित् ददातु। मंजुनाथः उत्तमः बालकः इति वदति चेत् किञ्चित् तस्य लज्जा भवति। अहम् इदानीं युवकः इति। सत्यं वा?
सत्यं।
किञ्चित् श्मश्रु अपि अस्ति। उत्तमम्। इदानीं मम प्रश्नः, भवतः जीवनस्य लक्ष्यं किम्?
मम जीवनलक्ष्यं
भवान् अग्रे किं भविष्यति?
एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप। व्यवसाय।
स्व उद्योगी व्यवसायी भविष्यामि। इदानीं भवान् स्व उद्योगी अभवत्। भवतः जीवनलक्ष्यं समाप्तं वा? भवान् उक्तवान् एंटरप्रेन्योर अभवत्।
जीवनलक्ष्यं मोक्षं। सत्यं।
अहं न जानामि। उपविशतु। एषः सुसंस्कृतः बालकः इति मोक्षं मम जीवनलक्ष्यम् इति। मंजुनाथः बहु चतुरः युवकः। यस्य कस्यापि जीवनलक्ष्यं पृच्छतु, सः अहम् इंजीनियर भवामि, अहं डॉक्टर भवामि, अहम् एंटरप्रेन्योर भवामि, अहम् अग्रे किं धनम् अर्जयामि। अस्तु, भवान् धनम् अर्जितवान्। न अहं CEO। अस्तु, CEO अभवत् जीवनलक्ष्यं। भवान् अंबानी अभवत् जीवनलक्ष्यं तदेव वा? कस्यापि जीवनलक्ष्यं तद् भवितुं नार्हति। केवलं धनार्जनं, बृहत् गृहनिर्माणं न भवितुम् अर्हति। एतत् सर्वेषां समानं। जीवनलक्ष्यम् अन्यत् किमपि नास्ति। माता पिता गुरुजनाः मिलित्वा नामकरणं कुर्वन्ति। भवता नाम यदस्ति तद् भवितव्यं। मम जीवनलक्ष्यं मया दिनेशेन भवितव्यं। भवता मंजुनाथेन भवितव्यं, अर्चनया भवितव्यं, पूजया भवितव्यं। एकैकस्य अपि जीवनलक्ष्यं कोऽपि अस्ति। प्रणवः, प्रणव तुम्हारा जीवन लक्ष्य क्या है? मुझे CEO बनना है। अरे CEO बन गए, अब क्या है तुम्हारा जीवन लक्ष्य? ना मेरा इतना पैकेज, तुम्हारा पूरा पैकेज मिल गया, क्या है जीवन लक्ष्य? वही है क्या? प्रणव क्या है? अर्थ क्या है? संस्कृत नहीं जानते हो। जीवन का लक्ष्य, तुम्हारा नाम जो रखा है उसका अर्थ ही नहीं जानते हो। तुम्हें 15 साल हो गया, 20 साल हो गया, 50 साल हो गया, 70 साल हो गया, जीवन का तुम्हारा नाम का अर्थ ही तुम नहीं जानते हो। क्यों? संस्कृत नहीं जानते हो। संस्कृतम जीवन लक्ष्यार्थम, लक्ष्य प्राप्त्यर्थम संस्कृतम। बांधवाः, वयं सर्वे भारतीयाः। अस्माकं वेदाः, चतुर्वेदाः, पुराणानि, सर्वोपनिषदः, रामायणं, भारतं, गीता, दर्शनानि सर्वाणि अपि संस्कृते एव सन्ति। अहं संस्कृतं न इच्छामि। वेदानाम् उपरि श्रद्धा अस्ति, गीता उपरि श्रद्धा अस्ति। गीता प्रेस गोरखपुर जनाः 5 रूप्यकेषु गीतां मुद्राप्य गृहे गृहे प्रापितवन्तः। गृहे अस्ति गीता, किन्तु पठितुं न जानामि। धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे, ये तो समझ में आ रहा है। समवेता युयुत्सवः, ये क्या है भाई साहब? समवेता क्या है? पहले श्लोक का पहली पंक्ति ही समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। मामकाः, क्या है मामका? पांडवाः समझ में आ रहे हैं। किम कुर्वत समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। संजय समझ में आ रहा है। गीता का प्रथम श्लोक की ही ये दुस्थिति है। गीता के बारे में श्रद्धा है, लपेट के पूजा गृह में रख के प्रदक्षिण नमस्कार करते हैं। आप केलॉग्स जाइए, वहाँ मैनेजमेंट जो पढ़ाते हैं, द मैनेजमेंट प्रिंसिपल्स इन गीता केलॉग्स में पढ़ाते हैं अमेरिका में। अब धीरे धीरे IIM में पढ़ाना शुरू किया है। अब इंडियन इथोस इन मैनेजमेंट अब पढ़ा रहे हैं। अब क्योंकि वहाँ के लोगों ने शुरू किया, जैसे योग वहाँ के लोगों ने शुरू किया, अब विश्व योग दिवस सब जगह मनाना शुरू हो गया। बांधवाः, अस्माकं ज्ञानम अस्माकं ग्रंथाः, भागवत के बारे में हमें श्रद्धा है सारस्वतों को। एम्ब्रियो गर्भाधान के बाद 9 माह में हर दिन एम्ब्रियो कैसे डेवलप होता है, भागवत में पूरा विवरण दिया है, एम्ब्रियोलॉजी। इसके बारे में थोड़ा रिसर्च करो मंजुनाथ, ये विषय लेकर थोड़ा रिसर्च करो, नहीं तो हमारे ऐसा ज्ञान है ये छोड़कर हम बाहर के ज्ञान ढूंढते ढूंढते जा रहे हैं। बांधवाः, संस्कृतं ज्ञानस्य भाषा, संस्कृतं संस्कारस्य भाषा। अस्माकं संस्काराः संस्कृतद्वारा उच्चारण संस्काराः, अस्माकं षोडश संस्काराः। अस्माकं देशस्य प्रधानमन्त्रिणं यदा कदापि मिलामि, संस्कृत भारती जनाः मिलन्ति, वो पूछते हैं हमें, नरेंद्र मोदी वर्यः, कितने बच्चों को संस्कृत के सुभाषित सिखाए ये बताओ। क्योंकि वो भी बताते हैं, हर माता पिता चाहते हैं अपने बच्चों के मुंह में 20-25 भी नहीं बोलते हैं मोदी जी, 20-50 सुभाषित हों। क्योंकि जीवन में जब उतार चढ़ाव आता है, उसको उसका सामना करने का हिम्मत और आत्मविश्वास, धैर्य और विश्वास, ये सुभाषितों से मिलता है। ये संस्कार और किससे मिलता है? आज की शिक्षा से रोजी रोटी तो मिलती है, किंतु मनुष्य बनते हैं क्या? पढ़े लिखे लोगों में ही, मैं बेंगलुरु कर्नाटक से आ रहा हूँ, सॉफ्टवेयर के जो लोग हैं उनमें ही डाइवर्स क्यों ज़्यादा है? सबसे ज़्यादा पढ़े लिखे लोग, अच्छा पैकेज वाले लोग, पति पत्नी दोनों कमाने वाले लोग, क्यों डाइवर्स इतना होता है? पढ़े लिखे लोगों में माता पिता को वृद्धाश्रम क्यों भेजते हैं? शादी होने के बाद पुत्र और पुत्र वधू अलग घर करते हैं, क्यों करते हैं? पढ़े लिखे लोग आज की शिक्षा से भावना, EQ, इमोशनल कोशेंट नहीं मिल रहा है, भावना नहीं है, संस्कार नहीं मिल रहा है। संस्कारार्थम संस्कृतम, हमें ये संस्कार मिलेगा तो हम सारस्वत, हम ये संस्कार समाज में देंगे तो हम सारस्वत, किंतु हम ही नहीं जानते हैं तो, और समाज में ये संस्कार हम कहाँ दे सकते हैं? बांधवाः, संस्कृतम संस्कारार्थम संस्कृति रक्षणार्थम। राष्ट्र का सत्व संस्कृति है। भारत, यदि भारतीय संस्कृति नहीं है, ये वसुधैव कुटुंबकम ये सभी केवल बोलने का चीज है क्या? व्यवहार में ये संस्कार आने के लिए सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः केवल बोल रहा हूं, किंतु माता पिता को ही मैं वृद्धाश्रम भेज रहा हूं। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः कहाँ है तुम्हारा सर्वे भवन्तु? संस्कार हमें मिलना चाहिए, इसीलिए संस्कृतम। बांधवाः, विद्यालयेषु संस्कृतम् आनेतव्यं सर्वेषां दायित्वं। मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में, कॉलेजेस में, संस्कृत के यूनिवर्सिटी, इसके पीछे नहीं हूं मैं। हमें संस्कृत विद्यालय में एलकेजी से संस्कृत चाहिए। बच्चों को संस्कृत सिखाइए। संस्कृतम संस्कृत माध्यमेन। लोग बोलते हैं संस्कृत सीखना है तो व्याकरण सीखना चाहिए। अरे व्याकरण, मैंने कभी भी संस्कृत नहीं सीखी है। विद्यालये महाविद्यालये अहम संस्कृतं न पठितवान्। अहम राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघस्य प्रचारकः। कभी भी मैंने संस्कृत नहीं पढ़ी। मोहन भागवत जी ने अभी 17 साल पहले मुझे बुलाया, वो सरकारी बात है संघ में, उन्होंने मुझे बुलाया, देखो भैया मैंने संस्कृत कभी भी नहीं पढ़ी थी, मैं संघ का प्रमुख हूँ और संस्कृत नहीं जानता हूँ, मुझे ये ठीक नहीं है लगा, संस्कृत सीखना चाहिए, क्या करूँ? तो एक संस्कृत भारती के कार्यकर्ता ने बताया, पत्राचार द्वारा संस्कृत छात्र बनिए आप। मुझे नहीं, मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, चिंता मत करिए, आप प्रवास में जाइए, प्रवास जाते समय एक पुस्तक मिलेगा, 2-2 पेज पढ़ते जाइए, एक कोर्स 6 माह का कोर्स मैंने किया। 6 माह में प्रवेश परीक्षा पास किया, उसके बाद परिचय, शिक्षा, कोविड, चारों परीक्षा पास की। अब मैं थोड़ा संस्कृत समझ सकता हूँ, बोल सकता हूँ। तो मैंने अच्छा ठीक है, नहीं उतना ही नहीं, संस्कृत भारती के लोग मेरे पीछे पड़े हैं, आपके संगठन में हजारों प्रचारक हैं, हमें एक प्रचारक दो पूरे देश में प्रवास करने के लिए। तो हमने तुम्हारा सिलेक्शन किया है, तुम संस्कृत भारती में काम करो। मैंने बताया, मोहन जी मैंने कभी भी संस्कृत नहीं पढ़ी है, न बोल सकता, न लिख सकता, न पढ़ सकता, इतने बड़े बड़े वाक्य रहते हैं, न पढ़ सकता। तो मोहन जी ने हंसते रहे। मुर्गी से पूछकर मसाला पीसते हैं क्या? उन्होंने घोषणा किया, दिनेश कामत आज से संस्कृत भारती में काम करेगा। मैं इधर आया, सब लोग संस्कृत में बोल रहे हैं, छोटे छोटे बच्चे संस्कृत बोलते हैं, सुनकर श्रवणम भाषणम। मैंने कभी भी राम राम रामा, हे राम हे राम हे रामा, मैंने रटा भी नहीं, मैंने पढ़ी भी नहीं। हमने मातृभाषा कैसे सीखी, कोंकणी कैसे सीखी? किसी ने कॉलेज में पढ़ाया क्या? वर्णमाला कुछ नहीं। घर में माता पिता दादा दादी बोल रहे थे, सुन सुनकर हमने बोलना शुरू किया, हिंदी बोलना शुरू किया, मारवाड़ी बोलना शुरू किया, शेखावाटी शुरू किया। वैसे संस्कृत भी सुनिए, श्रवणम भाषणम। अहम तदेव कुर्वन् अस्मि, कदापि व्याकरणम न पठितवान्, अहम संस्कृतम वदामि। संस्कृत के शिक्षक प्रोफेसर वो सभी रटे हैं, व्याकरण शास्त्र सब पढ़े हैं, 4 वाक्य बोल नहीं सकते। संस्कृतम सरलम, व्याकरण मत पढ़िए, साक्षात श्रवणम भाषणम, पत्राचार माध्यमेन संस्कृतम एवं कृत्वा कृत्वा अग्रे शास्त्रमपि पठामः, व्याकरणमपि पठामः। अत्र नन्दमोहन शणै अस्ति, अभियन्ता, अभियन्ता खलु? किमस्ति भवान्? हरि ओम्, कुत्र अस्ति एतद् मैक्? ददातु ददातु। भवान् किम् अस्ति, भवतः परिचयं ददातु।
अहं मम स्वकार्यं करोमि।
हाँ,
मुम्बैनगरे अस्मि।
किं करोति? स्वकार्यं किं करोति?
स्वकार्यम् IS ऑडिट, कंप्यूटर् ऑडिट, IS ऑडिट करोमि।
हाँ, पश्यतु, एषः संस्कृतं वदति, कथं वदति?
उक्त्वा उक्त्वा श्रुत्वा उक्त्वा
श्रवणं भाषणम् एवं कृत्वा कृत्वा संस्कृतम् आगच्छति। संस्कृतं क्लिष्टं कठिनं न, मम अनुभवः। लघु लघु बालाः अपि संस्कृतं वदन्ति, सर्वे अपि वक्तुं शक्नुवन्ति। अस्माकं सर्वेषां दायित्वं, हम जहाँ जहाँ है वहाँ संस्कृत संभाषण शिविर आयोजित करिए, 1 घण्टा ददातु, 10 दिवसेषु संस्कृतेन संभाषणं कर्तुं शक्नोति। हम निःशुल्क पढ़ाने के लिए शिक्षकों को भेजेंगे। संस्कृत भारती .in आप जाइए, संस्कृत ऐसे एन नहीं, संस्कृत भारती .in जाइए संस्कृत पढ़ने के लिए। इतने सभी संभाषण शिविर है, पत्राचार द्वारा संस्कृत है, पुस्तकानि लघु लघु पुस्तकानि। वयं सर्वे अपि संस्कृतेन संभाषणं कुर्मः, संस्कृतं पठामः। संस्कृते अस्माकं ज्ञानभण्डार, केवलं वेद उपनिषत् एव न वदन्नस्मि, अस्माकं प्राचीन खगोलशास्त्रस्य ज्ञानं, प्राचीन आयुर्वेद ज्ञानं, योगस्य ज्ञानं, जियोमेट्री ज्यामिति, त्रिकोणमिति ट्रिग्नोमेट्री एवं गणितशास्त्रस्य ज्ञानं, संस्कृतं ज्ञानमयं। वयं भारतीयाः, वयं सर्वे संस्कृतं पठामः, संस्कृतं वदामः, अस्माकं प्राचीन ज्ञानम् अवगच्छामः, भारतीयाः भवामः। भारत, इसको माइक, इसको बॉटल, उसको कुर्सी, इसको मेज, ऐसे हमारे यहाँ नामकरण नहीं है। नामकरण जीवन को लक्ष्य देकर नामकरण होता है। जैसे राम, अयोध्या के राम को देखकर हमने राम 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 सब जगह रखा, किंतु अयोध्या के राम को दशरथ कौशल्या ने क्यों नामकरण किया राम? बच्चा ऐसे हो, सब लोगों को दुख दूर करने वाला हो। रमन्ते यस्मिन योगिनो सह रामः। बच्चा रोता है, माँ रमाती है। रम धातु से राम बनता है, रमाने वाला राम बनता है। कर्ष, आकर्षण करने वाला कृष्ण बनता है, कर्ष धातु से कृष्ण। हमने मथुरा के कृष्ण को देखकर कृष्ण कृष्ण, किशन भैया, कान्हा, कन्हैया, पूरे देश में कृष्ण भर गए हैं, किंतु वसुदेव देवकी ने अपने बच्चे को क्यों कृष्ण रखा? बच्चा ऐसा हो, सब लोगों को आकर्षण, अपने रंग से आकर्षण, अपने रूप से आकर्षण, अपने वाणी से। 5124 साल बाद भी गीता कुरुक्षेत्र में युद्ध के समय जो बताया, वो गीता कृष्ण की वाणी अभी भी आकर्षित कर रही है। उनका जीवन का लक्ष्य ही आकर्षण करना। ऐसे हम हमारे जीवन लक्ष्य के लिए, और हम सभी भारतीय हैं। भारत, भा प्रभा विभा प्रकाश, ज्ञान प्रकाशे रत निरतम इति भारतम, भायाम रतम इति भारतम, और एल्स वी विल बी इंडियंस। वी आर नाउ इंडियंस। भारत माइनस संस्कृत is equal to India. We are all Indians now. We have to become Bharatiyas. Tadartham Sanskritam vadamaha, Sanskritam pathamaha. Vayam Saraswataha Sanskritasya dvara Sanskriti rakshanasya dayitvam asmakam asti. Swayam svikritam dayitvam. तद्दायित्व निर्वहणार्थम संस्कृतं पठामः इति उक्त्वा विरमामि। जयतु संस्कृतं, जयतु भारतम।
धन्यवाद दिनेश जी। बहुत अत्युत्तम विचार दिनेश जी ने प्रस्तुत किया है मेरे ख्याल से, और संस्कृत को सारस्वत होने के नाते अपने जीवन में अपनाना बहुत ज़रूरी है। अगर कोई किसी को प्रश्न है तो पूछ सकते हैं अभी। दिनेश जी, मेरा एक सवाल है।
हाँ, प्रश्न संस्कृत में ही पूछना है ऐसा नहीं है। हाँ। किसी भाषा में पूछ सकते हैं। हाँ,
एक दिन जैसे अंबेडकर ने बताया था संस्कृत भारत का ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज बनेगा, आपको क्या दिखता है? जैसे कि आप अभी थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड आप ट्रैवल करते हो, इंडिया में भी, अभी एक संस्कृत का एक माहौल है, लोगों को सीखने का मन भी है और माहौल भी है। आप समझते हैं कि एक दिन बनेगा?
मुझे लगता है अभी अमृत काल चल रहा है। इस अमृत काल में भारत जगत गुरु होने की दिशा में अभी पहल कर रही है। मुझे लगता है धीरे धीरे अभी संस्कृत भारती का काम के दृष्टि से मैं जब जगह जाता हूँ, कभी भी अभी 5 साल पहले 10 साल पहले संस्कृत के लोगों को प्रवेश ही नहीं रहता था। आईआईटी में, आईआईएम में अभी संस्कृत के शिक्षकों की नियुक्ति हो रही है। इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम अभी एनईपी नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 में इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम ये एक विषय उभर कर आ रहा है, जिसमें हर विषय पढ़ाते समय उस विषय में जैसे जियोमेट्री सिखाते समय उस विषय में प्राचीन भारत की जियोमेट्री में ज्ञान क्या था, वो उस समय के गणितज्ञ कौन थे, भास्कराचार्य, वराहमिहिर, ऐसे खगोल शास्त्री, गणित शास्त्रज्ञ, उन्होंने क्या क्या लिखा था, ऐसे विषय अब आना शुरू हो गया है। धीरे धीरे आज के बच्चों को, अभी तक वो केवल पाश्चात्य विज्ञान, पाश्चात्य समाज शास्त्र पढ़ रहे थे, उन लोगों को अभी हमारे लोग भी ऐसे थे। जैसे आर्किटेक्चर, हमारे ये तंजावुर के बृहदीश्वर मंदिर 206 फीट हाइट, 206 फीट ग्रेनाइट स्ट्रक्चर, 50 टन का गोपुर में 50 टन का वहाँ बड़ा स्ट्रक्चर खड़ा किया है। और इंटरलॉकिंग टेक्नोलॉजी, नो सीमेंट, नो कंक्रीट, 206 फीट हाइट, नो फाउंडेशन। बृहदीश्वर मंदिर 6 बार भूकंपन हुआ है वहां, 6 टाइम्स अर्थक्वेक, कुछ भी हिला नहीं, वैसे के वैसे है। ये हमारा आर्किटेक्चर है। स्थापत्य वेद, हर वेद को एक उपवेद रहता है, ऐसे अथर्व वेद को स्थापत्य वेद उपवेद है ना, आर्किटेक्चर। ऐसा आर्किटेक्चर सिखाता है। पुरी जगन्नाथ मंदिर देखिए, वहाँ तंजावुर बृहदीश्वर मंदिर देखिए, तिरुवनंतपुरम का अनंत मंदिर देखिए, ऐसे सैकड़ों मंदिर मिलते हैं। ये हमारा आर्किटेक्चर, हमारे बच्चों को ऐसे आर्किटेक्चर कहाँ किस आईआईटी में पढ़ाया जाता है। अब धीरे धीरे ये पहल शुरू हो रही है, इसको थोड़ा वेग देना है, वी हैव टू एक्सेलरेट इट। यदि जागृत समाज इसमें इंटरेस्ट लेगा, हो सकता है। अभी कोरोना के समय में आईआईटी रुड़की का हमने संपर्क किया। आईआईटी रुड़की और संस्कृत भारती मिलकर युवा लोगों को हमने एक कोर्स शुरू किया, संस्कृत संभाषण और सुभाषित सिखाने का एक कोर्स शुरू किया। आपको आश्चर्य होगा, 3 दिन के अंदर 14,000 युवा आईआईटी के वो हमारे छात्र बन गए। जेएनयू और संस्कृत भारती ने मिलकर एक हमने कोर्स शुरू किया, सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स इन स्पोकन संस्कृत। उसमें 3 दिन के अंदर 4,000 छात्र जेएनयू के हमारे छात्र बन गए। केवल जेएनयू में, आईआईटी में हो रहा है ऐसा नहीं है, दुबई, अबू धाबी में, मुस्लिम कंट्रीज, आपको आश्चर्य होगा 30,000 लोग ये कोरोना के समय में हमारे छात्र बन गए। ऐसे समाज में एक अंदर से जागृति ये हो रही है, इसका थोड़ा बढ़ावा देना आवश्यक है। मुझे लगता है अगले 25-30 साल के अंदर संस्कृतम भारतस्य राजभाषा भविष्यति इति मम स्पष्टं मतम्।
हरि ओम्।
हाँ,
मम नाम नीलिमा शेणा इति, कार्कळनगरी अस्मि, इदानीं बेङ्गळूरुनगरे वासं कुर्वन्ती अस्मि। एतत् प्रश्नम् अहं 2009 मध्ये यदा संस्कृतसम्मेलनम् अस्माकं भुवनेन्द्रशालायाम् अभवत् तदापि पृष्टवती, इदानीं पुनः पृच्छन्ती अस्मि यतः तस्य समाधानं न लब्धमासीत्। महोदय, इदानीं पश्यन्तु, आङ्ग्लभाषायामेव पाठ्यते, शालासु तथैव कन्नडभाषा अपि कन्नडभाषायामेव पाठ्यते परन्तु संस्कृतभाषा इदानीम् अस्माकं भुवनेन्द्रशालायाम् एव संस्कृतेनैव पाठ्यते अन्यत्र कुत्रापि इदानीम् अहं मम ग्राजुयेशन् बेङ्गळूरुनगरे कृतवती तत्रापि संस्कृतेन कोऽपि पाठं न कृतवान् तत्र यदि पाठं संस्कृतेन क्रियते तर्हि प्रायः इदानीं यद् भवान् उक्तवान् आसीत् यतोहि उक्त्वा श्रवणेन तथा भाषया एतत् भाषा वर्धतुं शक्यते इति तद् भवेत् इति मम
बहु उत्तमं मतं भवत्याः अभिप्रायः बहु उत्तमः भाषा स्वभाषामाध्यमेन एव पाठनीया फ्रेञ्च् कक्षां गच्छन्तु फ्रेञ्च् माध्यमेन पाठयन्ति न तु आङ्ग्लमाध्यमेन जर्मन् माध्यमेन तथा संस्कृतम् एतावत् पर्यन्तं संस्कृतशिक्षकाः ते अपि अन्यमाध्यमेन आङ्ग्लमाध्यमेन हिन्दी कन्नडमाध्यमेन पठितवन्तः इति कारणेन ते पाठयन्तः सन्ति इदानीं नूतनशिक्षकानां निर्माणं यत्र यत्र जायमानमस्ति संस्कृतभारती एतावत् पर्यन्तं 1,00,000 शिक्षकानां प्रशिक्षणं कृतवती संस्कृतमाध्यमेन संस्कृतपाठनस्य प्रशिक्षणं वयं दत्तवन्तः 1,00,000 संस्कृतशिक्षकानां ते इदानीं विद्यालयेषु विश्वविद्यालयेषु संस्कृतमाध्यमेन पाठयन्तः सन्ति भवती यथा उक्तवती तथा इदानीं नूतन सन्ततिः न्यू जनरेशन् इदानीं तादृश युवजनाः युवकाः युवत्यः संस्कृतमाध्यमेन पाठनस्य सरल संस्कृतं सिंपल स्टैंडर्ड संस्कृतं सरल मानक संस्कृतेन पाठनस्य अभ्यासं कुर्वन्तः सन्ति नूतन शिक्षानीतौ तदपि योजितमस्ति शिक्षक प्रशिक्षणं डयट मध्ये जिल्ला प्रशिक्षणकेन्द्रेषु संस्कृत प्रशिक्षकः नासीत् इदानीं संस्कृत प्रशिक्षकस्य नियुक्तिः भविष्यति अस्तु हाँ
हम सबको मालूम है जर्मनी के 7 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में संस्कृत लैंग्वेज कंपलसरी है और नासा में जाने वाले जो स्पेस में जाने वाले को संस्कृत की बेसिक नॉलेज नहीं थॉरो नॉलेज इज रिक्वायर्ड नाउ इट इज दे आर गिविंग द थॉरो नॉलेज in London St. John's School the children are now reciting Sanskrit Om Sahana Vavatu like that even the Atavom Yantu Nadayoho Varshantu their accent is English they are but saying Atavom Yantu Nadayoho Varshantu Par they are reciting these words but why not क्यों नहीं है हमें हिंदुस्तान में किसी यूनिवर्सिटी में कंपलसरी क्यों नहीं मालूम है संस्कृत के रिसाइट करने से संस्कृत के उच्चारण करने से मेमोरी का हमारा ये सेल बहुत स्ट्रांग होता है और मेमोरी पावर ज़्यादा होता है ये सब मेडिकली साइंटिफिकली प्रूवन ना बट वाई नॉट इन इंडिया संस्कृति
समय जर्मनी में कई विश्वविद्यालयों में संस्कृत है किंतु कंपलसरी कहाँ भी नहीं है भारत से बाहर 40 देशों में इन 254 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ संस्कृत इज बीइंग टॉट आउटसाइड भारत भारत में 120 विश्वविद्यालयों में संस्कृत विभाग है संस्कृत के लिए ही 16 विश्वविद्यालय हैं भारत में ये इतना सभी होने के बाद भी संस्कृत पीछे क्यों है ये प्रश्न है आपने जो बताया अभी जर्मनी में इटली में उदाहरणार्थ फ्रांस में रशिया में यहाँ सभी संस्कृत पढ़ने की आवश्यकता क्या है वो ज्ञान के लिए पढ़ते हैं संस्कृत में इतना ज्ञान छिपा हुआ है इसीलिए वो पढ़ रहे हैं भारत में ये ज्ञान है ये पता भी नहीं है आज का इंजीनियर को पूछो तुमने इंजीनियरिंग किया है तुमने MBBS किया है MD किया है उनसे पूछो कोई किसी ने CA किया है उनको क्या पता है संस्कृत में क्या है, कुछ नहीं है, ऐसे जानकारी भी नहीं थी। इसीलिए ये जागरण करते करते धीरे धीरे ये सभी परिवर्तन आएगा। इसीलिए मैं फिर बता रहा हूँ, विद्यालय के स्तर पर प्राइवेट स्कूल्स में जैसे अंग्रेजी माध्यम किसने लाया? सरकार ने नहीं लाया। इंग्लिश मीडियम ये सरकार के पॉलिसी में कभी भी नहीं थी, अभी भी नहीं है। अंग्रेजी किसने लाया? प्राइवेट लोगों ने लाया। पैसा कमाने के लिए अपने विद्यालय का आकर्षण पहले इंग्लिश एज वन सब्जेक्ट, धीरे धीरे मेरे विद्यालय का आकर्षण इंग्लिश मीडियम, बच्चे सभी अंग्रेजी में बोलते हैं, लोगों को लगने लगा तो मेरा बच्चा वहां ही जाओ। ऐसे करते करते अभी सरकार मजबूर हो गया है, सरकारी विद्यालयों में छात्र आना है तो अंग्रेजी करना अनिवार्य है। ऐसे ठीक है, अंग्रेजी किया, उसका विरुद्ध नहीं है। हम संस्कृत एक विषय के रूप में हम लाएंगे। हमारे बच्चे या हमारा प्रभाव, हम समाज के प्रमुख लोग बैठे हैं, मेरा प्रभाव जहां जहां है वहां विद्यालय में संस्कृत एक सब्जेक्ट के रूप में अनिवार्य। एलकेजी से हमने आपके लिए टेक्स्ट बुक बनाए हैं, हमने लाखों शिक्षकों को तैयार किया है सरल रीति से। जैसे मैं बोल रहा हूं ऐसे ही बच्चों को संस्कृत सिखाने के लिए हमने पाठ्य पुस्तक बनाए हैं। अरुणः, उदयः, पुस्तकों का नाम सरला, सुगमा, सरसा, सुखदा, ऐसे हमने बनाया है। ऐसे हम एलकेजी से विषय शुरू करवाना ये दायित्व हम सभी का है। ऐसे करते करते आएगा 10-15 साल बाद संस्कृत सब जगह आएगा।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। सारस्वत, संस्कृति और संस्कृत और संस्कार ये सब जुड़े हुए हैं। लगता है आज का ये विषय बहुत अद्भुत रहा। दिनेश जी बहुत धन्यवाद, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
सर्वेभ्यः मम नमस्काराः। जयतु संस्कृतं, जयतु भारतम्। अहम वदतु संस्कृतम, संस्कृत बोलिए ये बोल रहा हूं। वदतु संस्कृतम, आप सभी जयतु भारतम ये बोलिए। वदतु संस्कृतम, वदतु संस्कृतम। अगले जनगणना आ रही है, ये 2021 में जनगणना आने वाली थी, कोरोना के कारण आगे गई है। अब जनगणना आएगी। भारत में संस्कृत मातृभाषी लोग, हम सभी करोड़ों लोग, हम अनजाने संस्कृत बोल रहे हैं। हम कोंकणी, कन्नड़, हिंदी और सभी भाषा के नाम पर संस्कृत बोल रहे हैं। हमारी मातृभाषा संस्कृत ऐसे लिखवाएंगे। कम से कम आप और 2 भाषा जो जानते हैं ऐसे बताओ, उसमें संस्कृत को लिखवाइए। ऐसे हमारे स्टैटिस्टिक्स में भी, आंकड़ों में भी संस्कृत आएगा तो सरकार भी उसके पीछे आएगा, नहीं तो नहीं आएगा। अगले जनगणना में संस्कृतम मम मातृभाषा अथवा न्यूनातिन्यूनम द्वितीय भाषा, ऐसे लिखवाना ये दायित्व हम सभी के ऊपर है। वदतु संस्कृतम, उच्चैः वदतु संस्कृतम,
जयतु भारतम।
सर्वेभ्यः नमो नमः।
Thank you. Now we are breaking for tea for 10-15 minutes maximum. Now it's 4:20. We'll come back by 4:35. अभी नेक्स्ट सेशन बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, इंटरैक्टिव क्विज है सारस्वतों के ऊपर, सारस्वतों के बारे में। आपको जल्दी आना है, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, ताकि हमको पता चले कि कितना जानते हैं हम सारस्वतों के बारे में। आइए 15 मिनट में ज़रूर वापस आइएगा। धन्यवाद।
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन, सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन, सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन, सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन। सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन, सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन। सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है। सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है। आत्मानुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है। आत्मानुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है। सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन, सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन। भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है। भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है। विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है। विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है। सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन, सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन। सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन, 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 सार भरित जीवन, सार भरित जीवन। सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन, सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन। सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन। सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन। सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन, सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन। सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है। सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है। आत्मानुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है। आत्मानुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है। सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन, सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन। भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है। भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है। विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है। विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है।
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन। 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 सारभरित जीवन। सारभरित जीवन।
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन। सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन। सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन। सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन।
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन। सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन।
सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है। सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है। आत्मा अनुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है। आत्मा अनुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है।
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन। सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन।
भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है। भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है। विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है। विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है।
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन। 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 सारस्वत सज्जन
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन सरसार भरित जीवन सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन
सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन
सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है आत्मानुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है आत्मानुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है
सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन
भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है
सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन
नमन
सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन
सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है आत्मानुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है आत्मानुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है
सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन
भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है
सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सार भरित जीवन सारस्वत
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन
सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है सत्य धर्म त्याग सेवा जीवन की नींव है आत्मा अनुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है आत्मा अनुभूति ही जीवन का लक्ष्य है
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन
भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है भारत भूमि पुण्य भूमि कण कण ही श्रेष्ठ है विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है विश्वरूपी शरीर का आत्म ही भारत है
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन 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 सारभरित जीवन सारभरित जीवन
सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन सारस्वत सज्जन सारभरित जीवन सरसिजाक्ष श्री हरि को करते हैं नमन
नमस्ते मी सूर करता जी 5 मिनिट भितरी वॉलंटियर्स म्हाका 4-5 वॉलंटियर्स जाव का वॉलंटियर्स वॉलंटियर्स ते लॉग इन कर का आहा स्लाइड अनिरुद्ध ahaslides.com म्हणून वयरी /h2023 सगळ्यांनी लॉग इन कर का ऑलमोस्ट 50 people have logged in English संस्कृत उलयता we are going to start now all of you log in some volunteers please help them senior citizens to log into the site okay we have got 63 people logged in already we are starting it in another 2 minutes We are starting in 2 minutes. There are prizes to be won. Okay, this is Digital India. Conditions for this quiz. The first one, look at your mobile and participate in this. It is 100% digital. And we follow Amitabh Bachchan, KBC, fastest finger first. So if you answer the question first, you will get 100 points. If you answer the question last, you will get 10 points. So please log in AHA Slides. Go to the Chrome, AHA Slides /H2023. No calling out the answers. Pradeep Mam, Malava. Where is it? It's on the top. ahaslides.com /H2023. Can we start? Okay, there are prizes to be won. Top 5 people will get, and people are participating internationally. That is the power of technology. People are attending this quiz across the globe. Okay, so you can also try, but prizes are only for those people who are here. Okay, then the next point. Fastest finger first, players across the world. Haridwar participants can reduce the volume of their mobile because we will be playing the speaker here. And top 5% in Haridwar has interesting prizes to be won. Total 25 questions. The length of the answer or the time depends upon the length of the question. Shall we start? Yes? No? Yes? Okay, good. Okay, so this is the topic. Know your history is the topic. In this, what is history is told by William Durant. Just as continuity of memory is necessary for the sanity of an individual, continuity of tradition and culture is necessary for the sanity of the community. This is by William Durant. Very, very apt for us. So now we are going to the first round. Okay, most important, there will be 4 choices. Don't sit just like that. There is a submit button. In many places when I conduct the quiz, people forget to press the submit button. Okay, before you submit the button, you can change your answer any number of times. But once you press the submit button, you cannot change the answer. So please remember, most important is to press the submit button. Okay, so 5 topics, quick fire round. The first one is rivers of India. 5 questions. Then we have got Grantaha or books. 5 questions. 5 questions on Saraswataha. Then we have got 5 questions on Stalaha. And the last round is Sangeeta Nrityani. There are 95 people who have logged in now. I can see real statistics here. Okay, here we go. The first Subhashitam, as Dinesh Kamath Ma'am said, one Subhashitam we have to take home is this. Dhanikas Srotriyo Raja Nadi Vaidyastu Panchamaha Panchayatra na Vidyante na Tatra Divasam Vaset. These 5 things, if it is not in a place, you should not stay there even for a day. Dhanikaha, a wealthy person. Srotriyaha, knowledgeable person. Raja, governance. Nadi, river. Vaidyaha, doctor. Very, very apt. If this 5 is there, so therefore we are starting with Nadi. Here goes the first question. All of you, now please don't look on the screen. Those who are participating, focus on the mobile, otherwise you will lose your points. Don't look at the screen. Those who are on the mobile, please look at the mobile only. Okay, please join. There is something called join now. So all of you put the, yes, quick. 23, 26, 29, 32, 36, 40, 49, 54. So just press join now. Okay, 98 players, 99, good, century, excellent. 100 people are participating across the globe. So we are going to start here. Here goes the first question. I'm just starting. Sorry. I'm going back to the first question. Here goes the first question. Which Which river is known as Jahnavi? Aushadam Jahnavi toyam Vaidyo Narayano Harihi Akala Mrityuharanam Sarva Papa Pranashanam Vishnu Padodakam Shubham. So you have to answer. Which river is known as Jahnavi? Yes? Don't call out the answer. Don't call out the answer. 21 seconds. 85 people have answered it. Good. 15 seconds left. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Time's up. What's the answer? Ganga. We are sitting on Jahnavi Tiram. Answer is correct. Let us see how many have got it right. Wow. How many people got right? Still there are people, 18 people telling Saraswati. There are 12 people telling Narmada and 8 people telling Yamuna. Jahnavi, Aushadam, Jahnavi Toyam. Let us go to the next question. Sound.
గౌతమిదిగో చూడండి అదిగో భద్రాద్రి గౌతమిదిగో చూడండి అదిగో భద్రాద్రి గౌతమిదిగో చూడండి.
Yes, 18 seconds, 17, 16, 15, 14. Still, how many people to go? 74 have answered out of 118. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer? Huh? Godavari. Godavari. Bhadrachalam. Gautami is Godavari. Very good. Let us see. How many people know it? Okay, 9 people have gone. Brahmaputra, 33 people have called Kaveri. Bhadrachalam is on Godavari Nadi Tire. Youth of GSB has released one episode which I have taken on Bhadrachalam Ramadas. Please go back to and see it. It is in Konkani. On the Ramanavami day, we are again coming out with the English version. So the music which you heard just now is from that title song. Godavari, good. Next. Third question.
प्रयागमभितः पश्य सौमित्रे धूममुन्नतम् अग्निर्भगवतः केतुं मन्ये सन्निहितो मुनिः नूनं प्राप्ता स्म सम्भेदं गङ्गायमुनयोर्वयम् तथा हि श्रूयते शब्दो वारिणो वारिघट्टितः.
Okay, 91 people answered so far. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer? Triveni Sangamam. Very good. Okay, still we have got 13 people talking about Rudra Prayag, Vishnu Prayag, Karna Prayag. Okay, 82 people have got it right. Good. Slokayam Purayadu. Fill in the blanks. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati dash Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidam Kuru. Okay, some of the 7, one of the most important rivers. I mean, Kalasha Pujan, when we do Kalasha Pujan, this sloka is said. So we must know what it is. गंगे च यमुने चैव गोदावरी सरस्वती डैश सिंधु कावेरी जलेस्मिन् सन्निधं कुरु. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer? Narmade Sindhu Kaveri. Very good. Next one. Kaliyamardhanam kasyam nadyam babuva. Kaliyamardhanam kasyam nadyam babuva. पॉइंट नहीं मिलेगा आपको बोलने से, इसके अंदर करने का है. क्वेश्चन मत लीक कीजिए भाई साहब, एक्साइटमेंट में क्वेश्चन मत लीक कीजिए. उदकाद उदकाद उरगाधिपतिम तदुपांतम अशांत रुषांतमना says Narayaniam from Kerala. So beautifully done. 13, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I think this is done. 1 minute. This is also done. This is also done. Okay, let us see. Shefali Vaidya, topper. Is she here? Okay, good. Okay, good. Second, Kedarnath Shanai. Good. Second, Deepak Shanai. Anybody here? Deepak Shanai? Or somebody is trying from outside. Deepak Shanai. Mukarya, come front. Then, V. Gurunath Rao. Where is V. Gurunath Rao? Nobody from here. And Chetana Malliya. Chetana Malliya? Nobody. Okay, let us proceed. Okay, the next one is going to be on books. Kavyashastra vinodena kalau gachati dhimatam vyasanena tu murkhanam nidraya kalahena va. Pude kalak velukisi, how do we spend time? Kavyashastra vinodena kalah gachati dhimatam vyasanena tu murkhanam. By vyasana and fighting. Vyasanena tu murkhanam nidraya kalahena va. For modern generation I have changed it. Kimbo mukapustekayena va. Kimbo kimasti. Kimbo kimasti. Kimbo. WhatsApp. Kimbo. Mukapustakam. Mukapustakam. Facebook. Vesanena va. Kalo gachati. I una, rilaka, e ong, I ouch, hayavarata, lana, nyamanganama, jabanja, gadadasa, kafachatata chatatava, kapaya, shasasara, hala, nrittavasane, nataraja rajo, nanada dakkam, navapanchavaram, uddhartu kaman, sanakadi siddhan, etadhi, dash. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer? Maheshwaraya Sutrani. Very good.
पृथिव्या
उत्तरस्यां दिशि निषदेवतात्मा हिमालयो नाम नगादिरा. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer? 10. My God, 47% of the people are told first day. It is on the 10th day when Bhishma fell. Okay, Mama, Mate Rato Naka. Arjuna was told the Bhagavad Gita on the first day. But wait. I mean, if you all talk about Bhagavad Gita as action replay, it is action replay, it is not live telecast. Please understand the difference between action replay and live telecast. Yes, that is how it is. Okay, good. Good question. Good question. Okay, good.
वस्त्रगतं वस्त्रगतव्यं चूडामणिं शुभं चूडामणि देयो राघवायेयो राघवायेति सीता वस्त्रगतं वस्त्रगतव्यं चूडामणिं शुभं चूडामणि देयो राघवायेयो राघवायेति सीता वस्त्रगतं वस्त्रगतव्यं चूडामणिं शुभं चूडामणि देयो राघवायेयो राघवायेति सीता वस्त्रगतं वस्त्रगतव्यं चूडामणिं शुभं चूडामणि देयो राघवायेयो राघवायेति सीता वस्त्रगतं वस्त्रगतव्यं चूडामणिं चूडामणिं देयो राघवायेयो राघवायेति सीता वस्त्रगतं वस्त्रगतव्यं चूडामणिं चूडामणिं शुभं Pradeyo Raghavayeti.
Okay, 67 people got it right. Good. Okay, let us see who are the leaders. Ramu Kamath, who is it? Yes, very good. Okay, good. Deepa, is Deepa here? No. Mayaji Kamath, she is from Cochin, she is not here. Girish Baliga. Girish Baliga? So all more people are playing from outside this place. Gurunath Rao is also not here, I believe. Okay, good. Now, Vayam Saraswataha. So we are going to talk, the next 5 questions on Saraswat. So this is from Rigveda. Maho Arnaha Saraswati cha cheti yati ketuna dhiyo vishwamvi rajati. So 5 questions on Saraswats now. एतेषु केन कोंकणी भाषा प्रचारार्थं पद्मश्री पुरस्कारं प्राप्तम. केन पुरस्कारं प्राप्तम. एक संख्या विसरला. First answer for you is second for the other person and third for the third person. Answers are shuffled. Don't tell neighbor. First one. Okay, answers are shuffled. Don't see what is on the screen. Your options will be different. 3, 2, 1, 0. Time's up. What's the answer? Purushottam Mallaya. Correct. Good. 54 of them got it right. Good. Hortus Malabaricus is a book which has been written in 1678 and 1693 by 3 people. This is the toughest question of the day. It has been written by 3 people. So there is a 4th name in this who has not written it. Who is not the person in this? Eteshu vikalpeshu pustakasya rachayatya kaha na asit. who is not the author? Okay, this is the toughest question of the day. If people from Cochin can easily answer it, if they see it. This is the toughest question. And this is one, the importance of Saraswats from 1600. That is why I am trying to impress upon this question. How much influential we Saraswats were in right from 1600 when we can give some books in Latin, etc. 3, 2, 1, 0. Anybody, any answer? Kedarnath Mam. Ramakrishna Bhatt is the person who has not written. It is actually written by 3 people, Ranga Bhatt, Vinayaka Bhatt and Appu Bhatt. They were the 3 people who wrote. Ramakrishna Bhatt did not write it. Good. Guru Granth Sahibe Shat Sikh Gurunam Panchadasha Bhagatanam Cha Ekadasha Dash Rachanaha Santi. Guru Granth Sahib is a collection of composition of 6 gurus, 15 bhagats and 11 dash. Very, very important. Influence of Saraswats in almost all the languages or all the religions. Very important question. Yes, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer? Bhattaha. Bhattaha. They were all Saraswats. So see the influence of Saraswats on Guru Granth Sahib. Interesting question. See the influence of Saraswats on Guru Granth Sahib also. Ekadasha Bhattaha. This is also a very simple question. Who is the author of this book? Very simple. This is the simplest question of today. I will give you the clue and the answer after the session. Shh. Please play with your mobile. Don't call out. Etat pustakam kena virachitam. आपका भी नाम है मैडम. Next time I will use your book. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer? General Bakshi, he came and addressed all of you today. Whatever he spoke was from that book. Good. 63 of them have given. Madam, lot of credits to you. Lot of credits to you. The next question of this Saraswata round, the last one. Rishi Dadichi Saraswata Munehe Kaha Asit. Maharshi Dadichi is the dash of Saraswata Muni. We all talk about Saraswats. We should know our history. That is why this topic is called Know Your History. I have given too much of time, I think. This is a small answer. 94, 95, 96, 99, 100, 105, 6, 7, 10. Good. 14, 15. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer? Huh? Father. Let us see. How many of them got it right? Good. 65 of them got it right. Any upsets? Girish Baliga is here? Girish Baliga? I think only Kedarnath is here. All of them are outside this venue. We'll see. Okay, next. Stalaha. So we are going to talk about the various places. Etaddesha प्रसूतस्य साकाशात् अग्रजन्मनः स्वं स्वं चरित्रं शिक्षेरन् पृथिव्याः सर्वमानवाः. This is connecting to the morning subject which Sudhanshu told. We have to be the Jagat Guru. Swam swam charitram shikha prativyaha sarvamanavaha. Please learn from India. That is the same theme I am continuing, which Sudhanshu talked in the morning. Question 16. So this is about the places. Dinesh Kamath Mahodayah kutrasti atrasti va bhavan kinchit uktam tadeva ham prishtavan bhavan yat uktam tadeva ham prishtavan bhavan question paper leak kritavan mama prashnadvayam bhavan leak kritavan pratama prashnam etam. Time kaise sir? Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Tanjavur. Dinesh Kamath Mahodaya. Good. Let us see how many of them got it right. Good. 108. But still I have got Kanchipuram, Kashi and Somnath. Kasya Maharshehe Janmasthanam Kalpyam Sardar Vallabhai Patelena cha Dr. K.M. Munshina Avishkritaha. This Rishi's birthplace was identified by Sardar Vallabhai Patel and K.M. Munshi. So this birthplace is of dash Agastya, Valmiki, Vedavyasa and Parashurama. No leaking after the time. 18, 17, 16, 4. Sanketaha asti. But it is like KBC, fastest finger first. Sarve uttaram jananti. Sarve uttaram jananti. Kaha shigram karoti, te sankyam prapnavanti. Uttaram dadatu. Vedavyas. Kalpi yadi bhavantah gachanti, tatra etat vigraham asti. Tat K.M. Munshina stapitam. Good. Madam, I took this from your last year's lecture. That's the clue. Madam, I took it from your last year's lecture. I had come for that Bombay May 1st program. I took it from there because I also visited this place. Okay. Very simple question. Those who attended last year's Saraswat conference, Madam started with this. Madam started the story of this temple only. Eleven, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer? Tamdi Surla. Okay, Tamdi Surla is the answer. This is the penultimate question. Because of shortage of time, we have to skip the last round. Okay, so we are doing this. This is the last but one question. Navakalevaro samskaraha. Navakalevaro samskaraha kasmin mandire bhavati. Simple question. Navakalevaro. There is a very important ritual called Navakalevaro. It is in which of these 4 temples? Sir, you should play. Why are you leaking the answer? You should play. Don't leak out the answer. It's also a very, very important ritual which people should know. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What's the answer? Jagannath Puri. Oh. Okay, 59 got it right, 15 Dwaraka, 19 Badrinath, and 28 Rameshwaram. Okay, the last question for today's quiz before we declare the winners. Vadatu, Dinesh Mahodaya. Navakalevaraha, new body. Kintu Odia Rajya yadi gachati bhavan, te Navakalevaro iti vadanti. Bangal Rajya, Odia Rajya yadi gachati bhavan, tatra Navakalevaraha namavanti, Navakalevaro iti vadanti. This is a sample question to test. There is no points for here. Next question is match the following. So this is a sample question. No points. So to know how to do match the following, go back to your school days. So 1 means which is the one you have to select. So this is only a sample question. After that there will be another question which you have to map old city name versus the new city name. So this is only a sample testing. Okay, this is only for testing purpose because it takes more time. Your phone died. Luck is bad today. You understood? This is only a test question to understand how to do match the following. Okay, now comes the real question. There is no points for this. This is the last question for today. So old name versus new name. Same way you have to do match the following. Don't call out. Don't call out. Okay, you will take some extra time. That's why I given it extra time for this. Don't call out. This is again must know. We are rewriting our history. These are some of the things we should know and must know. Okay. Now, atra ma pashyatu. Mobile pashyatu. Tatrasti. Mobile karotu. Sarvant atraiva kuruvanti, atra na drishyatu, atra ma drishyatu, tatra drishyatu, mobile madhye darshyatu. 2, 1, 0, time's up. Okay, let us see how many of them got it right. Avantika, Kimasti, Ujjain, Maya Nagari, Haridwar, Vayam atraiva tishtamaha, Saketapuri, Ayodhya, Pataliputra, Patna, only 20 people got right out of 106. Very bad. Only 20 people got right out of 106 wrong. 106 wrong and 20 right. Okay, so we come to the end of the session. Now let us see who the winners are. Deepa is here. Deepa, you got what's your point? No, you're not. So some other Deepa. Okay, Girish Baliga. No. Sri Priya Ji Prabhu. Sri Priya. Nobody. Shafali Vaidya. Come. Next time I should eliminate speakers. No problem. Come. Nilima Shana. Anybody is here? Please come. Samruddhi. Samruddhi is there? Samruddhi. Kedarnath sir. You also come. Viksha Kamath. Anybody is here? No. Vinod is not there. Upendra Kamath is not there. Satish Bhatt is not there. All of them are outstation people. Okay, Gurunath Rao is Arundhati Kamath. No. Okay, so we end this today's session.
Really good questions. Very impressed.
Yes. gift.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All over to you, Madhav.
Thank you, Nandamohanji. I think he has gone into the depth of our history. I think we should have had more time actually to conduct this. Anyway, thank you very much, Nandamohan Shanai. Thank you very much. Now, next we have a very important session by Durgesh Chandavarkar ji. He is the chairman of SVC Bank Limited. I welcome Chandavarkar to deliver the next session.
With 35 years of experience across varied industries, Sri Durgesh Chandavarkar is at the helm of many companies. Presently, he is the chairman of SVC Cooperative Bank Limited. He is going to speak on the topic Saraswat's institutions, ethos, and contribution to the society.
नमस्कार ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः ओम श्री भवानी शंकराय नमः ओम श्री मात्रे नमः Good evening, my most dear Saraswat brothers and sisters. It is an honor, absolute delight, and to share my thoughts at this venerable confluence of Saraswats worldwide. I pay obeisance and offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of His Holiness Param Puja Sajujat Shankarashram Swamiji of Chitrapush Mat Shirali and His Holiness Srimat Samyamindra Tirtha Swamiji of Kashi Mat. I also express my heartfelt gratitude to Vishwa Saraswat Federation for this grand opportunity. Saraswati Che Upasak Saraswat. We Saraswats, intelligent, enterprising, deeply spiritual, disciplined, are indeed blessed by Ma Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, music, art, speech, wisdom, and learning. These blessings are the foundation of our Saraswat ethos. Intense research has been conducted by eminent scholars on the origins, heritage, tradition, people, cuisine, and culture of the Saraswats. This research has highlighted that the elements of Saraswat ethos are major contributors to nation building and developing socio-economic fabric in the form of our heritage, cuisine, education, social reforms, philanthropy, institutions, entrepreneurship, sports, media, politics, etc. In fact, we can dedicate an entire conference just to list down the significant contribution made by stalwarts of the Saraswat Samaj to the world at large. The laudable achievements of these luminaries have benefited the society. Today, I take the privilege to reminisce about a few of the Saraswat institutions who made valuable contribution to the society. Built on the premise of and propelling Saraswat ethos of cooperation are the three financial institutions in the cooperative banking sector: Saraswat Bank, SVC Cooperative Bank, NKGSB Cooperative Bank. A look at the work and expanse of these banks that span for more than a century makes me feel proud how we have been instrumental in providing better employment opportunities, livelihood, supporting entrepreneurship, and enabling millions of people with building and managing their wealth. Personally, it's a privilege for me to be the chairman of the great institution SVC Cooperative Bank and carry forward the ethos and the vision of two great personalities of the Saraswat community, late Shamrao Vittal Kaikini and late Rao Bahadur Sripad Subrao Talmaki. Late Rao Bahadur Sripad Subrao Talmaki was in the real sense of Maharshi cooperation. He was instrumental in the cooperative movement to make affordable housing a reality. As a result of these efforts, Asia's first cooperative housing society was registered in 1915. He was the core of iconic works for the Saraswat community, including publishing 3 volumes of the book on Saraswat families. Sri Talmaki was the main architect behind SVC Cooperative Bank, earlier known as Shamrao Vittal Cooperative Bank, an institution he formed in 1096, that 106, as a cooperative credit society. He named it after late Shamrao Vittal Kaikini, who was his main guiding force and guru. Set up in 1906, SVC Bank is a 116 years rich institution that has contributed significantly to the development of the cooperative banking sector in India for over a century. Today, the bank is one of the oldest and most recognized names in the country's cooperative banking space. SVC Bank is a multi-state scheduled bank with its presence across 11 states, 198 branches with total business of 31,000 crore plus. SVC Bank has proven its robust and strong fundamentals year on year and is geared for the technology-led growth. SVC Bank is also preferred employer to more than 2,300 banking professionals and has received many awards and accolades from state and central governments. Continuing to live up to the ideals of our founder and his guru, SVC Bank committed to giving back to society through its various initiatives in corporate social responsibility. Every year, lakhs of rupees are reimbursed towards the medical expenses of SVC Bank Members Welfare Association. We also support organizations for cancer patients' welfare and other forums that promote local talent in arts and music. It is a matter of great pride for SVC Bank to sponsor the pursuits of great education institutions like Saraswat Education Society. I would like to mention here about Saraswat Bank. It is spread across 6 states today with total business of 71,000 crores. The journey of Saraswat Bank began in 1918 with the foundation of the Saraswat Cooperative Banking Society, comprising of Saraswat stalwarts like Mr. J.K. Parulkar, Mr. M.D. Thakur, Mr. P.N. Varde, Mr. Sivaram Rajadeksha. The society was designed to help distressed families with funds for temporary accommodation, repayment of debt and medical emergencies. Today's Saraswat Bank is a behemoth that carries forward the social ideals with renewed fervor. In September 1917, the great Saraswat visionary, Sheth Shantaram Mangesh Kulkarni, laid the foundation stone of what we know today as NKGSB Cooperative Bank. Today, the bank has widespread presence across 5 states. 5 states with 104 branches, with a total business 11,000 crores. It has seen the emergence of many banking professionals throughout its century-old lineage. Now, I would like to share about some other institutions adding value to the society. Parijnan Foundation. The Parijnan Foundation is a charitable trust undertaken by Sri Chitrapumat Shirali to create and support projects, research programs and institutions in the vital field of education, medical care, rural welfare, upliftment of the deprived and several other areas of public utility on a non-profit basis to promote peace and coexistence and for the benefit of society at large, caste, class, no bar. Parijnan Foundation has been instrumental in running the women empowerment program in Shirali and villages around over the last 20 years. Many villages women in and around its center at Shirali and Karnataka have already discovered the joy of independent income and enhanced self-respect that comes with it. Thanks to the thriving women empowerment projects already initiated by Parijnan Foundation like Samvi Sudha handmade paper project. Parimochan. Sri Chitrapur Math in 2006 started a new initiative called Parimochan in collaboration with Bharatiya Agro Industries Foundation, BAFE, to provide independent and sustainable income generating activities to economically backward women in and around Chirali by providing interest-free microfinance loans. Various accolades and recognition from the central and state governments. Srivalli Trust, started in 2003, has been running a free ship high school at Shirali over the last 20 years and has contributed towards imparting value-based education more than 5,000 students over these years. Many of these students have subsequently excelled in professional business and career postings in their study, after their studies. All these initiatives guided and blessed by our most revered Guru, Paramapuja Srimad Sajuja Shankarasham Swamiji. Canada Saraswat Association. Established in 1911, the main objective of this institution is to provide educational, medical and distress aid to needy people and to foster spirit of brotherhood and cooperation. The association has done exemplary work in the field of art, culture and sports, even hosts monthly magazine that has become a mouthpiece of Saraswats. Saraswat Mahila Samaj, founded on the principles of selfless service of the Saraswat Mahila Samaj, has helped millions of ladies by providing distress relief and sponsoring their education and occupational pursuits. The Chitrapur Saraswat Education and Relief Society, constituted in 1946, this organization promotes education by giving aid to needy and deserving students. Under its aegis, many educational undertakings like support schools, libraries, reading rooms, hostels are also managed effectively in addition to medical aid to the aged and ailing members. Saraswat Education Society. It is a matter of great pride for SVC Bank to sponsor the pursuits of great education institutions like Saraswat Education Society, which recently celebrated 150 years since its inception. The Saraswat Education Society has built 3 educational institutions under its umbrella: Anandashram High School, Kotekar, Parijnan Junior College, in addition to Ganapati High School, and making affordable and quality education accessible to millions of students in Karnataka, in Mangalore. On this note, I encourage the young generation to read and learn about Saraswat ethos, tradition and culture, and also about life. Work and achievement of the stalwarts to get motivation and guidance to make meaningful contribution to their life and the society at large. The learning from them would help better decision making, taking calculated risk, and being better human being while being excellent professionals, and to understand the importance of uplifting each other to raise collective bar performance and eventually improve quality of our life and those around us. It's a colossal task to carry forward the legacy of these many more such stalwarts of the era who have laid strong foundation for the future generations. On such forum, a confluence of Saraswat worldwide, it is possible to connect with each other, build a network work towards strengthening our society and dedicate ourselves to create employment opportunities, uplift economically weaker sections, and improve the socio-cultural fabric of the society to which we all belong. Our Saraswat clan comprises of multiple subsects: Chitrapur Saraswat Brahmins, Gauda Saraswat Brahmins, Rajapur Saraswats, Saraswat from Kashmir, UP, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and many more, all under one roof. Though the presiding deity of Chitrapur Saraswat Brahmin is Lord Bhavani Shankar, who presents himself as Shiva with his Shakti, Devi Bhavani, we equally believe and offer reverence to Vishnu. The ethos of Sanatana Dharma and unity within diversity should be propelled by us Saraswat, and the power that is derived from this unity should be our strength, which protects all of us. I pray to Lord Bhavani Shankar to bestow his choicest blessings upon us. May we continue to remain guided and protected by our Guru Shakti. God bless you and your family with happiness, good health and good fortune. In conclusion, I would like to thank Shailaja Ganguly Pachi and Ashwini Vinekar Pachi for shaping my thoughts into words. Thanks and God bless you all. Thank you very much. It was a wonderful day. I spent all of you with all blessings of our Gurujis, and I'm sure you will take a lot of things from here to various places, your residence, and spread this message given by like G.D. Bakshi, Sudhanshu Trivedi, Nitin Gokar, many stalwarts of our nation. So we should build this on and become one Saraswat under one umbrella. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Durgesh Chandawalkar ji. It was really a wonderful speech talking about Saraswat ethos and our contribution to society. Thank you very much. We have a next session by Smita Shanay on Saraswat speciality jewelry and our dress code. Similarly, after her presentation, we have Maya Oja. She is talking about the speciality dress and the speciality jewelry of North Indian Saraswats. So we have both the aspect of jewelry and dress from South India and North India. Now over to Smita Shanay ji.
ओम हरि गुरुभ्यो नमः वत्स गोत्र उत्पन्न प्रभाकर शर्मणः तृतीय पुत्री अहम स्मिता विवाहानंतर कौशिक गोत्र उत्पन्न जयदीप शर्मणः पत्नी उर्मिला भवन्तः सर्वाणाम् अभिवादनं करोमि. Yes, when I asked our Bhatt ji, how do I introduce myself the way Saraswat did, so he taught me this, and I'm very happy to introduce myself like this. Ladies and gentlemen, and my dear Saraswat Bandhu, I'm given this opportunity. I think I will take 10 to 15 minutes, something in English, something in Hindi, I will try to tell you how do we live. Actually, in my presentation, first we had food also. So I have taken some information and important food items also here. How do we live now? As Dakshinatya Saraswata Brahmins, what is our lifestyle? It will be the focus of my presentation. Okay, so first a few presentation PPT slides will be all about a small introduction. First one, click, next one. Southern Saraswat Brahmins, click. Click. Concentrated on the west coast of southern India, 4 states, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa, Kerala, next. In Karnataka, we are concentrated near Kannada region. We are called Cannaries, it is also Cannaries region. Then Konkani and Marathi are spoken. Dvaita followers are followers of Sri Madhvacharya, and Advaita followers are Sri Shankaracharya's followers. His time is not properly researched yet. It is thought as it is 8th century. Next. Saraswat subgroups. Click. Yes, Gaud Saraswat Brahmins. There is a very small introduction here. You can quickly go through. There is a scripture you can find. It is from Skanda Purana. Skanda Purana is one of the important write-ups or scripture for us. About 81,000 verses are found in this. Sri Guru Veda Vyasa, whose temple is here, is the writer, author of this work. And so many times it has been edited and corrected, and many versions have come. You can buy online also, but the version you get may not be actual. Once, way back in, say, 1898, in Kathmandu Library in Nepal, palm leaf manuscripts of Skanda Purana were acquired or taken. Before that also, some parts of Skanda Purana were available. So one cannot say when was it written, but that is told. Yes, Chitrapur Brahmins and Karada Brahmins. These are some subgroups of Saraswat. Okay, there is a spelling error. I'm sorry. Next. Yes, let me come to this. Brahmano Bhojana Priyaha. That's why I took up this. We love food. And Brahmano Bahujana Priyaha is also there. So, treating Brahmins with good food is a way of getting blessings from the God. That's why we have Brahmana Bhojana programs in all major programs. So, Madhvaites are considered vegetarians, and Smarta Brahmins were always pescatarians, means they used to have fish, but mixed food system is followed today. And there are many discussions about this. When you see, Brahmins everywhere used to have non-veg food. But I cannot say in concludingly, there is a lot of discussion. Only the effect of Buddhist or Jainist civilization or the dharma has fallen on this, and they have started eating vegetarian considered of paramount importance, they say. Yes, main components of food. You must have also seen in the previous slide. Pehle wala dikhaiye ek baar. In one of the history books of, that is Dakshinatya Saraswatara Itihasa, which I often referred, this book said that Brahmins of South, Saraswat Brahmins of South, liked head massage and page. Page is the gruel or the rice. We often hear people saying, I cannot quit rice. I love rice because it's our staple or main food. So is coconut and dal, ghee, nuts and vegetables. Yes, I have just listed down. Only in some areas, fish is also consumed on the everyday basis. Let's go to the next one. Favorite food grains. Next click. Yes, rice. Every morning we need either page or we need idli, chapati, and all this is rice-based food. Then we have black gram, that is urad बोलते हैं आप. उड़द के खाना बनाते हैं राइस से मिलाकर, and that is supposed to be a balanced diet. Then we have ragi on special occasions, upas and other programs, foxtail millet, then chickpea, and all kind of grains and pulses also become very important. Next one. I'm just showing you the kind of breakfast we make today. These names are very familiar. I'm not telling you something new. I'm just highlighting. I want you to be feeling happy, feeling good. And I don't mind if you drool a little. These are all the food items we love. It is an introduction of ourselves to the North Indian counterparts, actually. Khatto is the item we prepare. The idli is cooked in jackfruit leaf, and we are fond of it. And then undi is rice balls with some chutney. And shawai is we prepare with, shave. That instrument is there in everybody's house. Antique to new. There are many modifications, but still we have it, we use it. Then bakri or roti, we make it on the tawa. Buns, appa, surnali. I can see you all like it. Then steamed cake varieties, that is idli and its cousins. So, rava idli, kulta, ramdanu. These are some names very familiar. Tausha muddo, then pansa muddo, that is with the jackfruit, ripe jackfruit. Then duddi sandana. Sanna kotto. How can I say this in Hindi? Sanna kotto. That's what we call it. Like Gujarati foods, our foods are also very famous. I want them to be famous. If you check on the net, these are available in big numbers. I want our North Indian friends also to try out these. You can eat that today, tomorrow. You are treated with such good food, which is South Indian Saraswat food. Please try to make it. The recipes are on the net if you try all of these. So next is dhaya idli. We make it with curd. So ये दही से बनाते हैं हम. या थोड़ा fast जाएंगे. ये सब pictures हैं. आपके मुंह में पानी लाने के लिए मैंने डाल दिए हैं इधर. Madhav sir wanted me to keep it more picture oriented. खुश करने के लिए. So it should be an entertainment also. Next one. This is our Dr. Ji, who is our Swamiji's great bhakta also. He often came to this place. He says, I spoke to him, and he gave me this information. The steamed food are very good food. It is very good for digestion, bowel movement, etc. He has given this. I collected this information. Then lunch. We love lunch. Lunch is a post-lunch, pre-lunch. Lunch is very important for us. So, Javan Meri Jaan, I have written. Then we have very colorful and nutritious thali. If you ask for GSB or Goan thali, you are provided this beautiful combination of colors and nutrients. Here you can see amba upkari, the topmost yellow. Every day amba upkari we make in the mango season. Then we have this upkari upkari is all seasoned vegetables. Upkari is a seasoned vegetable variety. You can just see. Solkadi is my favorite, where you have a salt-tasted fruit. It is called kokum, yes. With buttermilk, very digestive also. And dali toy. I think you had a very good dali toy today. It was very thick, and that's how we love it. So we have kept it here. Dali toy, and all these are chana agashi and chakko. See, I can see smiles on your faces. Though you are very less in number here, I'm very happy to see your smiles, because we love food. So, Javan Meri Jaan. Next one. This is the menu. Yes. That slide, please. Yes. Just go through. Warn is something like dalitoy, made with dal. But it is made with मूंगा दाल, मूंग दाल से बनाते हैं, और श्राद्ध के दिन ज़्यादा उसको बनाते हैं. जाएंगे? Wagyu. Actually, wagyu means it's a very hot potato, and it's also made with breadfruit, which is a variety. Next. Yes, patrado, the song of every belly, I call it, because very simple food but very famous. बहुत जानी मानी हमारी एक recipe है patrado, which is very nutritious also. On WhatsApp we have our own songs and lot of jokes on this particular, because we just cannot leave this out in the season. So the calocasia leaves are smeared with some masala, with coconut, etc. And they are cut into pieces and cooked. So this is all about patrado. It is sometimes fried, sometimes deep fried, sometimes put in the gashi, that is the kind of gravy. Okay, this is patrado. Yes, in the evenings and some special occasions, we have this podi, ambado, burjo, love. Jeev kadgi is something very, very jivachi. We say it's jaan hai mera. So that is the breadfruit. Breadfruit is very इतना तो टेस्ट ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, पर उसका बहुत सारे आइटम्स बनते हैं. So we love it in the season. Then Karela. Karela is also very favorite. We make the podi, crisp podi out of this. Okay, so click, 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 and you get pictures there. Yes. Happy? Yeah? Nice to see, right? Next one. बनवाएंगे, बनवाएंगे. Yes, last generation, my mother's time, they were very fond of making these at home and storing it in the boxes when the holidays came, when the guests came, when the weddings came in the family. But I don't say I know to do these. I'm sorry, but these are the very favorite foods of our children. Chakli, shamo, karo, chips, that is kachari. These are very, it makes everybody very happy. Next one, please. Next one, yes. Yeah, this is a song from a drama. When I was very small, I saw this drama. Undamanda, Ubbati, Kauchayare, Babuti, somebody singing. So these are the varieties we make at home. Among these is churmundo. It is a rava, गेहूं का आटा और थोड़ा सा बेसन मिलाकर चुरमुंडो बनाते हैं और घी में बनता है फूड. So very favorite of all children. Then ubbati we call. Ubbati is puran poli bolte हैं, puran poli. So this is also very favorite. During Diwali time this is prepared mostly. Others you can just have a look. Next. Yes. Gord pav is a sweet pav item, very popular. It is prepared for all occasions. On when somebody's birthday, every day. Even in some poor families, when they cannot afford big, rich food, they make gord pav. It is humble, but it is very popular and tasty. Next. Yeah, easy to make also. This is Dr. Play the video, please. This is Dr.
Namaste.
whom I often
I'm
consult.
Dr. Arun Tejas. I wanted to mention few things about the eating habit of
never mind.
Saraswat Brahmin.
Let's go to the next one. No problem.
Namaste.
Yes, he says, highlights I have written, but you cannot read. If you cannot read, I will tell you. It looks smudged there. He says, we Saraswat, he is not Saraswat, he has observed Saraswat and doing research on Saraswat. He says, Saraswats used to have lot of fat, ghee and coconut. They used to, coconut oil also. But with the time, everything has changed. Now, we are asked not to consume ghee, not to consume coconut oil. That is due to some lobbies. And we are losing our health also because of lifestyle. But he says, our food system has changed. We have drifted from our traditional system. It is important that we stick on to tradition and maintain our health, get good health. So, fat is not bad. So, that's what he says. Next. Why this is shaking like this? Temple lunch and Samaradhana Javan, which is Samaradhana Javan, is very famous. You can see thousands of people coming, food being made in huge containers. It's a pride. I feel so proud to see this happening everywhere. Food is being served every day, delicious food people consume, and it's one of the features or nature of Saraswat Brahmins that they share. Next. I want you to play this video. इसका sound नहीं आ रहा क्या? 1 minute time में play कर दीजिए. I wanted you to listen to this actually. Okay. Sound का कुछ कीजिए another 2 videos are there. Now I'm timing. This is how you look at the container and you prepare. Other day youthofgsb had interviewed these people. They said about 15,000 people's food is prepared in such containers. And it happens every year and during every big occasions, but Rathotsava is the biggest occasion that these things happen. And I am not saying it happens only in Mangalore. Because I am Mangalorean, I could get the glimpses of these, but everywhere, I feel everywhere. I mean, this is not the thing. This is one of the things. I'm just giving you some imagination about how we live. We are sticking on to temples. It are the service centers. It is the center of our connection. That's where we find our people. So people love to go to temples. You know, that's one of the, see, this is the volunteer group which serves. There is many group, but this is one group which serves. So they gave me these photos. And next, please. Next, please. Yeah, let's come to the dressing style. I collected these photos. If can you make out? The first photo is very old, I can say, but I have not got the I couldn't get the proper time of this one. Where my mother-in-law is a small girl sitting there. Okay, the first one. She is about 75 now. She should be 5, 6 that time. So looking at the picture, we can feel women are wearing kacha dress. Kacha means sari ko आगे से पीछे से लेकर यहाँ से टक करने का है. So and men are wearing coat and also hat. That is a topi. काली टोपी या सफेद टोपी दोनों पहनते थे हमारे लोग. Our next one is that side. That one, the far left, is same family. Girls are grown up and married. Still they are in simple cloth. All are thin basically. Right? So this is the lifestyle that has made us fat, I feel. Isme, my mother-in-law is grown up. This picture, one boy in topi, even in North Karnataka, now we have this style of small boys on special occasions wearing topi. His 5th year birthday. He is about now 78. Like that. His 5th year birthday. There are 2 other families which are not Saraswat Brahmins. This far side, this side is a Christian family because my father-in-law's father was in a service, government service. He was not a businessman. So one with the hat, cap is my father-in-law's father, and one lady with on the head like this is a Muslim family, which was a close family for them. See, look at the difference. One can easily make out the difference between our ladies and other community ladies there. Next one. Yes, you must be knowing these stalwarts of our. Click कीजिए और एक. पूरे आ जाते, पूरों को. Yeah. This is a setup my son did for me. I told him, see, don't do this. There is no time. So still, yeah, I'm finishing. Look at this. These are the men, achievers. Tonse Madhavanantapai, a member Subrao Pai, Canara Bank, and Manel Srinivas Nayak, MP for 2 times. I should talk about one important person there. All are important, but one is more because very rare such people we have. Dr. Sir Ramakrishna Gopal Bhandarkar from Pune. Whose cutout is there in the top with the Maharashtrian style peta. Very big Sanskrit scholar and a writer. Shanai Goibab is one is black, this one who fought for Konkani, who is a Konkani activist and also writer from Goa. Next one, please. Yes, this is how we are seen in Kavikala. This Konkanyali Kavikala is a book written by Dr. Krishnananda Kamath, who is from North Karnataka. He basically, I would like to pull your attention to the looks of men there. They look Portuguese. They want to show the effect of Portuguese, and he has spoken about the Shirali temple and Shirali Mutt also. Shirali temple is Mahaganapati temple, which is a Kula Devata for many of us here. And that is about 1570 to around 1750. In that time, most temples were built. So look at the women there. He speaks about a Konkani Grahini there with Jai Malli. That's a reddish mogra we wear and considered very auspicious and very, very good smelling flower. He speaks about, shows them very particularly in the picture where there are two people there. Yeah. Men in January. So these are the things men wear among us now. January. See one previous man. Yes. Don't run it. हेलो, वो पहले वाला दिखाइए, उससे पहला, हाँ ये. This is how our men look and how they wear. Janave is very important, without which they don't actually be, but when they go to temple and Swamiji, they have to wear in today's generation. जनेऊ बोलते हैं आप लोग, हम जनवे बोलते हैं. And then kashti is a comb and a very small langoti. बहुत पहले, when people were poor, they had only langoti. Yeah, my grandfather always said that was the wear of boys. That's how they went to school. You know, we should see from where we have come. Yes, I hope you read it. Pavitra Muddhi is a ring that is given during the Brahmopadesham. There's a beautiful gant like usme dikhai deti hai. Usko Pavitra. Yes. Sir has more information, but we are running out of time. So next one. Next one. Aage ka. Yes. This is dressing about women. I see, when we say on the net, we don't find many, but we have to, ladies and gentlemen, we have to put more pictures on net, because that's how people access information now. So Jaya Devi Porob, one sitting lady there, dress just down below the woman word in brownish sepia colored picture. Jaya Devi Porobu is a Brahmin lady from Goa. Look at the ornaments, and tilak is cross. Then Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay, you must be knowing, a woman all over India where worked a lot for the artisan's sake, and also she is forerunner of women's education from Mangalore. Okay, then these are the ladies, you can recognize these are we. That's how we dress up now. Everything has become very simple so that we can carry ourselves. Then Onti Baran means giving good blessings from one lady to another. See that lady is wearing the Kasa Kashta. Then you can see one lady on the top with the belt, the golden belt and all. Next one, please. Next one. Yes, this is me. From a week, I had a kind of, my grandma had come into me, I feel. This is her sari, 100 plus years sari. I wanted to bring that and come in that sari, but I was not sure if it will be in place. And it is it is like a paper now. When I touch it, may get cut. So I just try to wear it. So this is a Nawari style kacha. Nawari is a 9-yard sari. So this is how grandmas looked when I was born. I mean, when we were kids. Yes. Saris can be of homespun. They can be Dharmavaram, Kanjivaram, and Paithani. These are the style. This is the style. Next one, please. I got some pictures from my friends, and some are here also. So this is during the special occasions. Women still wear these saris when they go to their Kuladevata temple, or when they are doing this Vaina Puja, is a coconut offered to Lourdes Gauri, and they do it with lot of bhakti, and they do, all the whole family members come together to perform this. Yes. And that time, and also there is one more puja, Chudi Puja. That is worship of Tulasi. Tulasi, and I didn't take much picture of that because we are not talking about rituals. Okay, just want to show you. It is still in practice. Next one. Yes, common ornaments, clothes and styles. Dharemani is something every woman wears. That was given by mother during a wedding. And Kashitali is something husband offers or gives. That is given soon after the Kashi Yatra Natak is over. Because a boy goes to Kashi Yatra. On the way, girl's father meets and he asks him to marry and go to Kashi, not to learn, but as a sansari, taking your family or wife in future. So that's how, after that, this Kashi Yatra, this Kashi Thali is given. Then after marriage, yes. I'm asked to close, but just want to show you a glimpse of ornaments. I won't talk anymore. Yeah, next one, please. This is how our couples look in common days and during festivals and temple programs. Next one. Yes, there is Maharashtrian Brahmin couple. I wanted to explain these ornaments, but it's not very clear there in the picture. But there are very few pictures, ladies and gentlemen. Please upload and put it in one banner saying Saraswat. Somewhere Saraswat hashtag should come so that people should access and know our styles, okay? So next one. The names of these ornaments are still in use. I saw that. These are the youth. You have seen these all young people here as volunteers. We know if we speak to them, they will be MD doctors, they will be CAs, they will be all. You saw this morning presentation here. He spoke so good English and he knows so much about finance and other things. Still he came in simple our dress. So these are the boys. A school-going boy wears the, after the Sandhya Vandana, they make these marks with Chandana, Gopi Chandana. They make and go to the school. They wear it with pride. Next one. Yeah, video theek ho gaya. This is how is the participation of our men. In every temple, I got only one information here. These are the very beautiful Vachaprasam I wanted to सुनने के लिए उसमें वॉल्यूम दीजिए. अच्छा, no problem. No problem, no problem. Let's say so let the video run like this because you can see our young people also. Okay, this is wedding look. Famous Deepika Padukone's wedding, Konkani wedding, it got some fame because of she got married in that style. So every ritual has its name, Uddamurtu and all that. So I don't want to explain. Next one, please. Next one. Yeah. Yes. The mogra flowers are made like this. And the aadwar is the white color shawl for the girl, wedding girl, is a basic, very special way how we dress up women or a girl when who gets married. Next one. Yeah, the crescent bindi and green bangles are a must for a bride. That's what it was. But now, because of the beauticians who don't take these things into consideration, sometimes these things are forgotten. With much difficulty, I found this girl's photo on net who has a crescent bindi. And then this Tulasi Mata, whose wedding we do, Uttana Dwadashi, then also small crescent is drawn on her because that day she is the bride. Okay, so this is one special thing I can tell you. Next one, please. Yes, very, very beautiful ornaments we wear. Dharemani, Kastali, then Pirdukke Kankani is black color bangle. If I read out, there is a lot of information written in this particular book, Dakshinatha Saraswatara Itihasa, where they explain about the way we made our kacha and the way we wore our ornaments. There is a good information about that in that. We were called Shenois or Shenvis. It is not one branch or one kind of people. It is a whole lot of them were called Shenvis. Next one. Yes, just have a look. This is the daily deco. They wear both the ornaments. Now we have got hybrid ornaments like this, where you wear one and both are there. So that is a beautiful new style they have created. So this is usually Dharemani and Kastali looks like. Next one. Yes, these are some. Their name is also given. I am unable to explain to you right now. Just having a look will help you because you too may have such ornaments because you can't restrict it to one. Next one. These are the bangles. Todo, Patli, then Kempa bangle, Motya bangle, then black bead bangle is very important. Coral bangle, then coin bangle. Next one. Yeah, this is the hairpins or hair ornaments, you can see. Yeah, next one. This is for the ears all and Sundari. So jhumkas for the Paijan or Gejje. Then Bugdi. Bugdi, do you remember this name? Koppu, Kutkanjodu, Kutik, all these. Sutungal, etc. Next one. Yes. This is for the baby. Kutapatto. Next one, last one. This is for the men. So men are also very decorated. They're also fashion conscious. So Neval is a thin, he talks about this. In this book, there is a mention of Neval, means a thin silver chain which you wear in the waist. Yeah, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for patient hearing. And thank you also for giving me this opportunity for all the organizers. Thank you so much. Dev Barkora.
Thank you, Smita Shane. I think you have really put in so much effort in collecting these pictures. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Now, there are two announcements now. Actually, now we'll have a very important fusion performance by Team Bhairav. We have very renowned artists today performing here. Before that, there